mode. What is that?
It's a bunch of like default settings that we can play with later.
What the fuck is this? I've
We're
just
live,
noticed
by
now. I'm
the
like, what the
way.
hell is shield mode?
Yeah, I don't know.
Has activated shield mode and will enable settings to protect and restrict chat.
No,
Turn
let's
that
turn
off.
that off. Yeah.
Hell no.
Hail
Yeah,
to
we're
the
definitely
no.
not doing that.
People.
Yeah, Kylie, what are you doing to our chat?
You'll never know.
Conservatory. Conservatorship. Is that the word?
Conservatorship, yes, that's it.
That's the one. Censoring the
We do not do that here.
Oh goodness. Okay. Yeah, it looks like everything's good. I'm gonna turn my fan back off because that is way loud. Chat, you get extra minutes because I messed everything up. Actually, I don't think it was me, but it's hard to say because I'm also sick. It could be me.
She's gonna try and blame me for this still, but you know.
Pete's a good luck charm. Oh goodness. Hello, Euros
I believe we got it yet. 1 sec.
Oh.
Bueno from somewhere in the Caribbean.
Ooh, bueno,
all right, Brent. Show off. Bueno.
Bueno.
Hope you're enjoying your trip.
Yes. I hope it's everything you want it to be in a bag of chips.
¿En qué parte del Caribe? In what part of the Caribbean?
I mean...
The sunny part.
The sunny part.
The part that has ocean in it.
Usually helps.
So, for our viewers at home, because not our listeners, because we're not live with recording yet, we are live on the stream. I'm very sick. I'm very full of many drugs, and I'm about to be full of very expensive wine that I did not mean to open, but hey, La Dolce Vita.
Preparing yourself very heavily for next week, I guess.
Abso-friggin-lutely. Brett says, I am enjoying it very much. I just finished a lunch with international travelers. Ooh, where are they from? Totally dox them.
Let's not get thrown off of Twitter.
Oh, goodness. I do apologize for not being my painted up, vivacious self. I couldn't even bother to put makeup on. This is crazy.
You're fine.
Oh. Yeah, but I look so pale.
You're fine.
It's like I'm ill or something.
You're fine. Well, I can't say you're fine to that, you know.
You look amazing.
Thank you. Oh, goodness.
Somewhere between Curacao and the Dominican Republic. Ooh. Very nice.
Ooh.
I think there's a liquor called Curacao. It's, I think, blue. I think. Don't quote me on that, because I can't even say my ABCs right now. I'm pretty sure I'm running fever, too. Oh, my gosh.
I mean, that's a very red fever.
Oh, yeah.
You are looking very red, I must say, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've taken 2 sips. Ugh.
Brilliant.
This is a 2019.
I need to turn my light on, hang on.
Oh, yes. I can't pronounce any of these words. They're very French. But we have a very, very, very great show that I know Pete has been very excited for. And I've been excited to hear Pete's thoughts. I made him keep them to himself so that we could blurt them all out here.
You said they were accountants for US IRS from Hong Kong. Ooh. Seismologist from Germany, English teacher from Russia, flight attendant from Detroit, a woman from Poland, and a retiree from Philadelphia.
I love it.
Wow.
That's really around the world.
That's a great setting.
You've gone international now.
Oh, that's very cool.
Lovely to have you all here.
Yes. Yes, those are all my personalities. But look how. Wait, can we just talk about this? Because I never get to drink red wine, and I know this is boring. Look at that color. Look at it.
It's a good color.
It's beautiful, and it smells amazing. And I have a stopped up nose. I have a full on cold, and I can still smell it.
Oh, so you haven't got COVID then?
No COVID.
The old COVID test. If you can taste it and smell it, you're okay.
Exactly. Oh, chat. Pete, did we give chat a little bit longer?
Yeah, can do.
Okay. Oh, goodness.
He says can't stick around too long. I have trivia again soon. Okay, well enjoy, Brent. Have fun.
Enjoy.
Don't have. Remember, the VODs are there if you want to listen back or watch back.
Yes.
True.
Yes.
Or the audio version and video version will be out tomorrow morning.
Woo! Pete is
Good to know.
correct. Oh my gosh.
May want to stick around for the video version.
Yeah.
Possibly.
And maybe a lot of
'Cause
visual gags that you might not necessarily get on the audio.
I may have to watch the VOD version later too. We'll see.
True.
Oh gosh. Oh goodness. Oh, I'm gonna turn you up a bit. I think you're a bit quiet.
Sorry, what was that?
I'm turning you up a bit.
Okay.
I think you're a bit quiet.
Yes, I probably am. Let me just increase my gain as well.
Oh, right.
Is that better?
Oh, much better.
All right, cool.
So better.
Yeah, because I just noticed that on the backup recording as well. Hang on, I'll be back in a sec.
Oh, right, okay.
Okay.
Oh, gosh. You and Pete are gonna have to just talk the whole time. I know that's gonna be an impossible feat. To talk about Mario for
I
an hour
will
and 40
manage.
minutes. I
For
think
you,
will.
Kylie, we'll manage.
Oh,
Don't worry.
thanks.
I'm sure we'll just about get through.
Yep, Pete's right.
Right, shall we just getting on?
Yeah.
I think that's probably for the best, right?
It's gonna be a fun intro, Pete. Okay. I have like a
Wahoo.
sneeze stuck in my head. Okay.
Shall we wait for a moment before you try and sneeze?
It's just stuck there. It's not coming out.
Compose.
Okay, all right, cool.
All
Right, game face is on.
Oof.
Okay, right, we're recording. So, 3, 2.
Welcome to Rapid Reviews Radio, episode 157. I'm your co-host, Kiley Wilde, and I, if it hasn't been obvious to our listeners at home, have a very bad cold. That's all it is. It's nothing more than that. I am joined by my ever-present co-host, Pete Beckett.
Wahoo!
Don't contain your surprise, Pete. And our returning guest, like absolutely returning in 1 week's time, I think, Miketendo, friend of the show.
It's me, Miketendo. Woohoo!
Nice. Very nice.
Hiya, guys.
So yours is the Charles Martinet version, mine's the Chris Pratt version then.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Well, if you can't tell, this show is about Zelda. Whoops! I mean Mario.
That's the second character on my t-shirt.
I do highly encourage, as I do every week, to come watch the VOD or watch us live at Rapid Reviews. No, at twitch.tv/Rapid Reviews. And
We have props today.
They have props.
We do indeed.
Props coming out there. Wazoo!
That was bad.
That was so bad.
Oh dear.
It was really bad. But
It's so bad, it's good.
that's the theme of our show.
No, it's still bad. It's still bad.
Okay. Oh, Pete's gonna be doing a lot of heavy lifting, but it's a good thing because it is about Mario. And if you follow us, and of course you do, because you watch and listen to us regularly, Pete loves Mario, but guess what? So does this guy named Miketendo or something. Like his name? What?
Yeah,
What?
it's almost like Nintendo is in the name.
Yeah, exactly. So these two guys are gonna really, really chat your ears off. Thank goodness, because I am slowly dying on the vine.
It's
But
fine. We do want to hear your thoughts on the movie too, you know.
I mean,
Of
I've
course.
got a few. I've got a few.
I'm just here mainly for moral support. That's all.
I'm just here to make sure you don't fall off your chair.
Oh yeah, catch me through the screen.
I hope you
But
got the safety harness on.
exactly. Oh gosh. Okay, no, not gonna go off on a tangent. Okay, focus. So what I like to do every week is ask our guests, when we have a guest, how their week has been. Mike, how's your week been?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it started on the Monday, obviously. I know in the US it starts on a Sunday. Here we
Yes.
go again. It was my brother's Jack's birthday on the Monday, so we spent a little time together, had a couple of drinks. On Tuesday, I flew back home to sunny Spain, where it's about 28, 29 degrees on a daily
Nice.
basis. Very nice. I started a new job on the Wednesday, and
Hmm.
here we are the weekend. Went to see the Mario film again for a second time with my partner in Spanish. So I can now
Oh, cool.
say let's go in the Spanish as well, which basically it does say let's go.
Of course.
It's not
Wonderful.
vámonos. So yeah, good fun. Happy days.
Ah,
Nice to know.
yeah. Like when you watch a movie in like Spain,
Mm.
'cause obviously that's where you were watching it. Does it have like English subtitles or is it just full on Spanish?
Now, it depends where you go. There are some cinemas that do have it available in Versión Original, which is the original version, so like the English or the US English original version. I think in places in like Portugal, some cinemas they used to have the film would be in English, but it'd only be subtitled in Portuguese.
Oh right, I
Okay.
see.
But here with the cinema that I went to, it was fully in Spanish, but it's not a problem for me because I'm fairly fluent. And I watched the film before anyway, so any things that I didn't pick up in Spanish, I remember it from the English version anyway. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
all good,
that's
all
right.
gravy.
that's cool. Well, for our listeners at home, get your bingo cards out because Call Me Kevin lives in Spain. So I wondered how he was getting along watching movies over there. Pete, that brings me to you. How's your week been?
It's another busy week. So, yep, another busy week of being an adult. Gotta love
Oh,
it.
I
It's
know.
fun work. But hey,
Right.
I've had a few days off work anyway to rest and recuperate and
Good.
do whatever. So I did not see Mario again, which was weird. I probably should have done.
I thought you were for sure. But
I just got busy doing
Yeah.
other things, I guess. Can't even remember what I did with half of my time.
General
Blur.
adulting.
Yeah, let's just say general adulting, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what I did. I was playing a lot of Resident Evil 4. Of course I
Alright.
was.
There
Yes.
you are.
So, yeah, I was
What
in
version?
between adults there.
It's got to be the GameCube version because that's the best version.
I've been playing the remake, actually.
All right, I'll let you off.
Yes.
Then
So finally
But you can't play
testing
that
my
with a
PC.
chainsaw peripheral, can you?
Unfortunately not. I wish I could. I mean, funnily enough, I saw someone turn up to a Smash Brothers tournament with that controller. It was pretty impressive, actually.
That is probably one of the most wild controller setups. I think manageable, isn't it? Really?
I mean, it's a weird controller to actually use and actually,
Well.
play a game with. I mean, it's cool for display purposes.
I would say it rivals the Donkey Kongos, which brings us full circle.
Hey! Although
Hey,
there was no
bringing it back.
Donkey Konga in this.
Yeah, I didn't.
No, but there was
Anyway.
the DK rap.
Yes.
We'll get to that in a bit.
We shall talk. We
Yes.
shall talk.
Oh yes.
Kylie, how's your week been apart from being sick?
Oh goodness. You know what? I can't remember the before times before I was sick. All I remember is sickness. Actually, it was pretty decent, and then yeah, like I got sick, and like all I want to do right now, she was like just like curl up in my bed. And not
Yes.
go
So
anywhere.
if you happen to see Kylie just disappear, you'll know why.
I don't feel
She has
good.
made camp underneath desk.
Yes,
To
exactly.
just slowly drop an inch
Yes.
by inch throughout the
It's,
podcast until
you just see the chair keep going down, and it's one of those chairs that finally actually goes to the floor.
Yeah. Or actually, I have this chair upstairs that I need to move down here, but it's so freaking heavy. But it's one of those that lays completely flat, so you can sleep in your office.
Oh, nice. Very
Workaholics
cool.
unite.
Gotta go.
But
Hey.
except for the whole being sick thing, it's been good. But this
Good.
will pass. I'm annoyed. I'm one of those people who just gets very annoyed when they're sick because I get very bored very fast. So fast.
Jeez.
But we will head on. See, words are not coming out good. We're going to move on, not head on, move on to today's topic, which I already made the joke of it being Zelda, so I won't make that joke again, even though my brain's like, make that joke again.
Star Fox.
Sonic! So, Pete, do you want to give us a very brief background of how the Mario movie came to be and our favorite voiceover artist and actor extraordinaire, Chris Pratt, everyone's favorite?
Okay. Well, I guess this is where I take over as a host of Never Watchers. Shameless plug. So today, of course, like has been said, we're going to be talking about the Super Mario Brothers movie. So this is a 2023 movie from a joint collaboration between Nintendo and Illumination Studios and Universal Pictures. Came out on the 5th of April. And yeah, the cast list as such are, why is IMDb listed in a stupid way? Do not understand. I guess it's done on first appearances. So Kevin Michael Richardson as Kamek, Jack Black as Bowser, Chris Pratt as Mario, Charlie Day as Luigi. Charles Martinet does various voices, but we'll get to those soon enough. Keegan Michael Key as Toad, Anya Taylor-Joy as Princess Peach, Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, Fred Armisen as Cranky Kong. Why am I not seeing a few others? But anyway, I think that's about it.
That's the major players.
Those are the major players. But yeah, like I said, came out beginning of April. Sorry, had a budget of $100 million, and so far, on its opening weekend in the US and Canada, it did 146 million, and so far, at present, sits at $470 million worldwide.
Holy crap! That's a lot.
And
right?
it's been out for just over 2 weeks at this point.
I mean, I've been thinking about trying to cover it for our website as well about how much it's grossed, but then you see some sites say it's like 470, others say it's now gone over 608 million or something like that, and
Okay.
it's like, okay, where are you getting these numbers from? There's no exact site that says these numbers.
So what usually happens, and I've been seeing this a lot, is that movie studios will release their dailies, so it will tell you the dailies, and sometimes they vary between different regions, obviously, because the US region is most heavily focused on. So worldwide numbers are sometimes a little bit, unusual. Also, there is one very interesting point to note, and I'm not sure if this is when it's due for release. These numbers are not factoring in the fact that Japan has still not received this movie yet.
What? So.
Oh dear.
Ironically, unlike game releases, they get the movie later.
Oh, it's been a long past day where Nintendo used to leave the Western release for a couple of years. So
yeah, I remember those days.
Bro.
So do I. I remember importing Smash Brothers Brawl 6 months ago. Yeah, 6 months before release from the US.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Anyway, so yeah, it's been quite the storm so far. It has seemed to have set a few trends, including I think it's one of the highest 5-day openings in animated history.
Yes. It's apparently also the highest video game movie, and I think it's closely coming the highest animated movie of all time as well, or something like that.
Yeah, getting
Wow.
close to Frozen 2's number, I believe it is.
I never saw Frozen 2.
Neither did I.
No, and I've seen Mario twice.
Well, there you go.
Nice.
It's Mike. Mike's the one sending it over the limit, over the record.
Yeah. So yeah, you were alluding to this at the very beginning, Kylie. So let's talk a little bit about some of the controversy that's been had across,
Yes.
announcements leading up to the film coming out. Obviously, the biggest one being that Chris Pratt was voicing Mario, and seemed to cause a bit of a storm, let's say.
I want to know from both of you,
Mhm.
what were your initial thoughts when he was very first announced as the voice of Mario?
Go on, Mike, you take this, because I think mine's going to be a little bit different to yours.
Okay, right. Okay, so look, I want to start off by first saying, I do enjoy a lot of Chris Pratt's movies. So I enjoyed him in like Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, and obviously the first one, Fallen Kingdom. The last one, Dominion, not so much, but not so much fault of his own.
No.
Just the whole direction the film
Oh
took.
gosh, yeah.
Love his portrayal of Star-Lord in, the Guardians of the Galaxy. And, he's had, and the Lego movie I thought was absolutely brilliant as well.
Love that.
Absolutely love the Lego movie because let's face it, everything is awesome.
Love that song.
Everything is
So
cool
when
when
it-
you're part of a team.
Everything is
It is
awesome.
indeed. There we are.
Ah.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Oh, I love that
So
song.
when everything is awesome.
Right, stop before we get copyright strike.
Oh, that's
Right,
too,
yes,
too,
yes.
too
Oh,
close
yes.
to the original. Oh, goodness.
So when he was announced for Mario, now I've been a huge fan of Chris Martinet's Mario, since the beginning, and meeting him as well
Yeah.
in Barcelona many years ago at this
Ooh.
such event. It was my first video game event.
Nice.
So that was like a dream come true.
Oh,
And then
I bet
like
it
hearing
was.
that, oh, guess what? Chris Pratt's going to be Mario and Charlie Day's going to be Luigi. And it was just like, I was mixed feelings because you think, okay, yeah, this is a guy that I've been listening to, watching other films. And I just thought it's taken away from Charles Martinet in a way. This is like his big moment. He's been building these characters for years. And all of a sudden it's like Hollywood saying, let's stick in some big Hollywood A-listers that have been in films of current. And, it's like brush everything out the way.
Right.
So, yeah, it was a bit difficult at first. I'm thinking, I'm not going to like this because he's been in so many other films.
Right.
Let somebody else have this one. You know what I mean? And then after hearing him in the trailers and stuff like that, I gradually, started getting used to it. And then knowing that Charles Martinet was still going to be in the films in some portion, I thought, you know what? Okay, then, yeah, I'll just have to see this film and see how it comes out and see if my views change. And they have changed somewhat for the positive.
Right. That's very
Okay.
good to hear. Pete, what was your initial thoughts? Yeah.
So I'm going to somewhat mirror Mike on this one. I really like some of Chris Pratt's performances with Guardians, especially the Lego movie. I haven't watched the second one, surprisingly, which is weird. And a few other of his
Everything
previous
is not awesome.
Okay.
Oh, that's
Alright.
a spoiler.
Oh, no.
Okay. Cheers. I will watch it at some point in the future when I forget that it was even a thing. Anyway, so yeah, I'm mixed on him as a whole as an actor because I feel like sometimes he can do really well, but sometimes he's just Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
And I think that's a symptom of modern Hollywood as a whole, is that you haven't really got classic movie stars anymore who can, mold themselves into into their roles. But
Cough, Killian Murphy.
I'll give credit where credit is due. Whilst I wasn't blown away by his initial performance in the trailers, I think it's better in the movie. And I think all the words that he was saying before, just wait till the movie comes out, I did. And I was reasonably happy, actually. It didn't offend.
That's very good. That's actually very good to hear from you.
What did you reckon?
My initial thoughts. I was in Pratt overload at that point. Because I watched Parks and Rec, Lego Movie, Jurassic Worlds, even though they were awful.
The least said about those, the better.
Yeah. Oh, I have a rant. I could go on with them.
Yeah,
but
let's not, because I have one about Bryce Dallas Howard as well, and we won't talk about that.
I will say this though. I'm sorry, I have to. Believe it was the second Jurassic World. Yeah, I think it was the second one. That opening.
Fallen Kingdom.
I think it was Fallen Kingdom.
Yep.
That opening scene where the mom's eaten. Spoilers, by all the various different dinosaurs. I can't remember if that's the first or the second one. I love that opening, and then I was just disappointed from there on out. But anyway.
Yeah, because it was a bit massive disappointment.
I was so excited, and that big old like sea monster came up, and then I was like, I love this, and then it just went. Anyway, that's not the point. We're talking about Mario. So I initially was I'm just pratted out. Because I also love Guardians.
We're here to talk about the other Chris Pratt movie.
Yes.
And so then I heard.
Sorry, I just had to say that. Sorry.
No,
You're good.
That was good. But then I heard him in the trailer, and I could not help. I love Bob's Burgers. I used to love Bob's Burgers. I haven't watched it in a couple of seasons, I will admit. But those first 4 seasons,
I'm Bob.
religiously.
Would you like a burger?
But he sounded so much like Linda. And then somebody pitch shifted it up on YouTube and played the trailer, and then they like superimposed Linda saying all the words. Here we go. And I was like, oh my god.
Oh, here we go.
I was just like, oh my gosh, how am I going to watch this without that in my mind? And of course, very much, both like Pete and Mike, of course my first thought is Charles Martinet. Of course it is. That's who we grew up with, you know? And so I was just like, they have to do right by him. If they don't do right by him, I'm boycotting this movie. Sometimes I make impetuous decisions. But to be fair, again, kind of mirroring Pete here, it didn't offend. I mean, I don't know how to phrase it. I didn't love it. It didn't make me go, like, I never really, how do I say that? It didn't take me out of the movie. I'm not going to say that. But
it didn't truly draw you in.
Yeah, it still felt like we were watching an adaptation of Mario. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it does. It's an interpretation.
Yeah. And the actor almost looks like the original, but it doesn't quite, but it still has the feels, all that stuff. So, that's kind of what my initial thought was. But I will say this, and I'd like to hear from both of you two. The minute they announced Jack Black as Bowser, I knew we were going to be okay.
This was easy for me. It was like, Jack Black as Bowser, perfect casting. Nothing more needs to be said.
I could totally see it. And then when they showed the first trailer, and you saw Bowser, and you could see like Jack Black's eyes and the facial expressions in it. And it's like, yes, I could totally see this.
Do you yield? I do not.
Oh, it's so good. I could just watch a Bowser movie. I'm not going to lie.
I could as well. Jack Black as Bowser is a revelation, honestly.
Oh yeah. So good. Of course, we'll go into more about the musical choices.
Okay, who was the biggest surprise performance for you then?
I'll say for me, personally, I'm not going to say surprise. Okay, nobody really stood out. Jack Black did, but there's two that I was quite disappointed in. Not disappointed is a very strong word. And then, I'd like to hear from you guys as well. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Donkey Kong.
I'll get into that in a bit.
And then...
I think Donkey Kong was probably the weakest of the performances. It just was Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, or Donkey Kong as Seth Rogen.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, you've taken the winds completely out of my sails there. Yeah, Seth Rogen is the hugest disappointment in the entire movie for me. And
I thought you meant in all of Hollywood.
No, look, I said this even in the lead up to it, is why is Seth Rogen playing Donkey Kong? And I was completely vindicated in the point that I knew it was just going to be him doing his usual stick, and I worried about him doing his usual laugh, and it was like, yep,
Yeah.
Does not fit
Yeah.
Donkey Kong at
Donkey
all.
Kong's
What the
not a
hell?
stoner. He's not a stoner.
No, he is not. Not even close. And yeah, I
Totally
worried
a
massively
stoner.
about him, and I was,
That's
yeah.
because Grant Kirkhope did such a good performance of Donkey Kong in Donkey Kong 64. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Could have used some of that a little bit, and it's
Yeah.
like to at least look. I'm going ahead of it with all the references that were there. Like it was surprising they didn't have a few of those moments for Donkey Kong.
I do think yes. There could have been more Easter eggs with Donkey Kong involved. To be fair, I'm a little bit surprised there weren't, or I just missed them. But
there was a fair few actually. If you were looking out for them, there was
I
quite
know
a good.
the like ship thing. I recognize that.
Look, we're jumping.
Oh yeah,
we'll get into spoilers territory soon enough, I guess.
Mike, what about you? Was there any disappointments for you?
Disappointments.
Voice.
I mean, other than really touching on like Donkey Kong, I think that was probably one of the slightly bigger letdowns of the thing. I mean, on the whole, I thoroughly enjoyed the film.
Oh yeah,
very much so.
Exactly.
And I could get on board with Seth Rogen being Donkey Kong. Fine, fair enough. He didn't get enough screen time anyway to like really ruin the film, or just to have that typical like Seth Rogen stuff that he gets up to in his other films. I mean, it could come to a point we may get a spin-off movie, but instead of Pineapple Express, it's Banana Express.
Oh gosh!
That could happen.
No!
Oh my days!
And I just like the movie poster just poop in my head for Banana Express.
Yeah, just him and Diddy Kong.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Can you imagine?
Oh my goodness, it would be awful. Like, who's James Franco though?
I made a mistake.
Oh gosh.
Oh, we gotta get out of town, man.
Oh gosh. Oh dear. Oh dear.
Let's keep moving.
Keep moving. I was actually pleasantly surprised with Anya Taylor-Joy's performance of Peach. I thought it was a very, very good representation. I was, totally behind her. Yeah, this strong character attitude, which we don't normally get from the games anyway. She's always been this like damsel in distress. But I did quite like the angle they took with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got some niggles there. Some niggles there. We can get into it. Don't worry.
Yeah.
No.
Didn't quite like it.
No, it's not that I have niggles with Anya Taylor-Joy. I think she did a fine performance. Actually, it was like mostly decent. It's this whole strong character Peach, like that everyone seems to be back, like piggybacking on top of. Princess Peach has been that way for a very, very long time. In fact, since 1986, potentially, and also if you wanted an interpretation of it in the more modern age, Super Princess Peach on the DS is very much a game where she has to rescue Mario. So, all these people have been saying, Peach is a total girl boss in this movie. No, she is not. They've sort of changed the role of damsel in distress to basically being a bit more appropriate, I would say, in the fact that it's Luigi needing to be saved. In terms of lore, like that's more of how I feel it should be.
Yeah, well, think about Super Mario Brothers 2, which is my favorite Super Mario's, and I know it was Toki Doki.
You mean Doki Doki Mario?
Yeah,
Doki Panic. Doki Doki Panic.
But it's
that's why I always just call it Doki Doki Mario 2.
Well, I say it's my favorite. Super Mario World is number 1, and then number
Super
2,
Mario World.
Yes, but she was, for me anyway, just my style of play. She was my main character because of her like being able to float and stuff like that. So for me, she was always girl boss.
Peach was the easy mode of Mario 2.
No,
there's no harm in it. She's a great character. No, it was the fact that she, she was a great character. I like the fact that everyone had unique abilities.
Luigi
anyway,
was
it
so
made them
tough
feel
to
different.
Play in that. His little legs spinning in the air.
Oh, he was tough to play because his jump arc was so weird as well, especially when you're trying to fight Birdo.
Exactly.
Oh, yes.
Couldn't time it.
No.
God, we're showing our age.
We're showing our gamer cred as Mario fans.
That's right.
Clearly.
That's it. That's our gamer cred.
So to be fair, I do enjoy playing Princess Peach in Smash Bros as well because I think she can kick some tail. To be fair, if you know how to play her just right, her smash attack is probably one of the best attacks you can use. To be fair,
some of her smash attacks are good. Her one of her specials is really good. Turnip throwing is quite a pain in the butt.
Literally. Bullseye.
Yes, it does look like she's pulling it out of her butt.
Oh yes. Mind you, she does use her butt for other things in Smash Bros. I must admit, that's one of her powerful attacks.
Yes, the
my
Peach Bomber.
goodness.
Yes.
Yeah, so do we want to talk about Easter eggs now? Because my brain.
Well, actually, I was going to say my most surprising performance. Keegan-Michael Key as Toad.
Right.
Hey Mario!
I think he's great.
I thought that was really
He
good.
was good. I did enjoy his performance, to be fair. I thought he did a really good job.
You always know that the Toads are always a bit over the top anyway, so like he really sort of channeled that. But yeah, another one was I was more impressed by Charlie Day as Luigi than I really thought I was going to be. Really liked how he played that, actually.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah. Go on, Kylie. Sorry.
Well, no, it's fine. I think it could have been a bit stronger of a performance.
I felt that it was uniquely different from Pratt to feel that it was, they weren't clone characters anymore.
That is actually a good point I hadn't thought of. He did have to play the
yes.
straight man to Chris Pratt and Jack Black. So,
but then it also felt a little bit like Charlie Day was Charlie Day.
That was it. That, for me,
in all honesty, I haven't seen enough of Charlie Day before to know about that. That's why I was a bit worried. I was like, I'm not sure about this actor because I've not seen him in anything. So, anyway,
he seems quite comical in his performance anyway, and I can't remember the film, but he's the one in that meme that you see with all the pictures on the background. He's like this really like manic character. Yeah, it's like when I saw that translate onto Luigi as a bit more of like a cowardly character and a little bit manic in a way, or letting his feelings get to him, his fears. Okay. I did see that come across very well. So yeah,
sure.
I
can get. Cody, I'm not sure how we want to handle this. I was going to sort of say, shall we talk spoilers, references, all that sort of thing? Let's go through the plot itself and cover it in full detail.
If you've made it to this point and you're worried about spoilers, and believe it or not, there are a few spoilers. It's not like major spoilers. If you know the story, you know the story. But you may be forewarned right now.
Yes, that's kind of what I was doing. It was like, yes, please be aware there will be spoilers plenty ahead for both references, musical cues, character development, story plot, whatever, and post-credits.
Yes, Easter eggs.
So if you do not want to know any more or have not seen the film, do not go ahead. Yes. Do not go any further. I'll give you a few seconds.
Don't look any further.
We're good. We're good. All right, let's go. So let's talk open. Okay, so we saw this already. So sorry, Kylie, I can go from here.
No, you go because I'm fading. I'm fading.
I know. I can see it. So we start out obviously what we've already seen in the trailer with the attack on from Bowser and his minions, led by Kamek, on the Penguin Fortress.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, cool. Like I said, already seen it in the subsequent trailer, but I felt this is still a very good opening to the movie.
Yeah. I actually agree with you there. I liked that they used the Penguin Fortress.
Yes. We've already mentioned that, obviously, with Do You Yield?
Yes.
Which, it got a good laugh in it. Oh, nice. Yeah, it got a good laugh for me in the trailer, and it got a good laugh for me in the cinema again, so it worked.
Yeah.
Oh, it did. It did indeed.
Yeah, so from there, Bowser obviously takes down the fortress with some relative ease and recovers a superstar, to which he is then venturing on from the Snowy Kingdom to onward to Peach's Castle and the Mushroom Kingdom to... we don't know at this point why he's moving that way, but we'll get to that later on. So, this is where we fall into another part that we've actually seen previously in the promotional materials for this movie, which was the Super Mario Brothers plumbing adverts.
Yes, which was very creative.
Do the Mario!
Nice. Now, For obvious reasons, yes. Anyone who's a big fan of the Super Mario Brothers Super Show will know that piece of music very, very, very well. Now, I felt they did a really, really good interpretation of it for this.
I did like that. Yes.
And to be honest with you as well, I like their explanation of why it was so over the top. It was like why it sounded more like the classic Mario characters. I was like, we're doing a bit, you know, it's for TV, we're acting. It was like, I really did quite like that explanation, actually.
Yeah.
And this is obviously where you're first introduced to Chris Pratt and Charlie Day as Luigi, where they're talking to various members of their family. Which is one of those voices is Charles Martinet, playing one of the additional voices he was stated to be. And surprising John DiMaggio as an uncle.
Yeah, which I missed somehow. I still don't know how.
I did too.
I never miss, especially John DiMaggio. But I did. I missed it.
Yeah, I did too. Actually, I usually can hear that voice pretty clearly. I mean, he stands out like a sore thumb in Final Fantasy VII Remake. So.
And all of them, but yes. And everything he's in, his Waka and 10. So.
Yeah. All right. So obviously from here, we get a little bit of character development. Obviously, Mario and Luigi have started a plumbing business, much to the chagrin of their family, and the father goes a bit much with his somewhat criticism of Mario, saying that he's pulling his poor brother Luigi into a pipe dream. Let's say.
Oh goodness, yeah.
Pun solely intended, of course.
I've never rolled my eyes so hard and like everything. Guys,
I knew you would.
Yeah.
So,
and Mario having an aversion to mushrooms.
Yes, I love
yes,
that.
Look, I'm not gonna lie. I saw that like as soon as they had that that going, I was like, right, this is a bit for the film. I know it. Like, and this is so obvious. I quite liked it because it kind of mirrored my life for a while.
Oh goodness.
I didn't like mushrooms as a kid, and then my mum told me I should eat them because I grew big like Mario, and I love them ever since. So you know, there you go.
Pete, those
and
were
you
special.
are quite tall, so they
there
work.
You go. Those are special mushrooms, Pete.
I know. I don't think my mum was intending to be on the psychedelic drugs, you know, especially not at that age. Yeah.
Well, you'll never know.
So one of the things that I found really interesting here, really good characterization, I think. Don't know if anyone else noticed this. So he goes into his bedroom after this scathing criticism. What game was he playing?
Kid Icarus.
Yes.
Yes, correct.
I loved Kid Icarus.
So when did Kid Icarus come out?
85? 86? 85?
85, I believe. And I believe it was actually before Super Mario Brothers came out.
It was so difficult. I loved that game. I don't think I ever went
So, yeah, you don't see any references to the original Super Mario Brothers game in this movie.
I'm so slow.
No, not really.
They have a Nintendo.
They have a Nintendo, but they're only ever playing games that came before Super Mario Brothers. So this is the movie that sets up the legend of the game.
Wait, is it set in
Saying that, there was a poster for F-Zero in the background.
Oh, okay, so that's a bit different then. So that...
Obviously, the game he was playing was Kid Icarus, and that would have been before,
and then obviously
they had such good music on Kid Icarus.
Yeah, and then obviously later on you see the Wrecking Crew arcade game, so which is another of Charles Martinet's characters, is the Wrecking Crew guy, Giuseppe, which is cool. So. Okay, so the next scene that we get obviously is Mario and Luigi sitting in a diner where they're ready to go and do work for the day, I guess, and they run into what's his name?
Spike.
I can't remember. Sorry.
Spike.
Yes. So this is a competing plumber.
Yeah. That's
yes.
Right.
Not a big fan of what they're doing, but this is a really integral moment for showing Mario's character that he's not willing to let anyone tread over him and his brother. And stands up to him despite the guy being double his size. Gets his proverbial butt handed to him, let's say, and let's move on from there, because I didn't think there was much in that other than showing that little bit of character development that Luigi's scared and Mario's quite brave.
Yeah.
So, from there, we go on to their first job as plumbers, where, not gonna lie, I found this scene quite funny, actually. is the dog attack.
Oh, right, yes. Oh, yes.
It was just the
That
way it was
dog
constantly
was
staring
not
at him. It's really funny.
So good.
I'm gonna skip a little bit ahead here. I did quite like it later on in the film where they had the callback to the dog and it's still looking the same way but gives them the nod of approval.
Yeah.
Like
Uh,
weird
One
little
thing I
payoffs like that. It
noticed-
was quite
oh,
nice.
One thing I did notice is that dog looks relatively much like the one that's in Secret Life of Pets. It's almost
Yes,
like a
yes,
colour
it
it
does.
does.
difference. I can't remember what it's called in there. I don't know. It's not Max. Max is the protagonist.
No, I'm not too sure, but
But there was
You're
a
wasn't
right.
big
Secret Life of
shaggy
Pets.
dog in it.
Yeah, wasn't Secret Life of Pets also done by Illumination?
Was it?
Yes.
So that could be a callback to one of their previous movies potentially.
Nintendo.
So, sorry, one thing I didn't actually mention is we are actually in Brooklyn, not
Oh,
in the
yes,
Mushroom
that's right.
Kingdom. We're in the real world.
Yes.
So yeah, they complete this job very, very badly, I might say. So they've potentially flooded someone's pool bathroom and battered it. The dog has been locked in a shower, and the water level keeps rising, and it keeps rising up. But yeah, then dog's not very happy with them. Anyway, they go on and they go back home, and they see a disaster is hitting Manhattan, I believe, or parts of Brooklyn, where they believe that they know what they're doing, so they go down and go to assist with the repair job.
Right.
Now they know which pipe to go in to sort of go and try and isolate their problem. They don't get there quite quick enough, and they notice a mysterious green pipe below the streets of Brooklyn.
Boom, boom, boom.
Now, I am quite interested to think where the origins of this is.
What do you mean?
So, who the hell put this pipe in Brooklyn?
All those years ago.
Yes.
I had a joke.
And also, I've heard it being called a portal. Now, a portal wouldn't be correct. It is a warp pipe, thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly. And I had a joke, and I can't think of it.
Something to do with cake, maybe?
Something to do with pipes, I'm sure. No, I don't know.
No, I did
We said
once have
portal,
a...
so-
No, I did once have a classic Mario Brothers plumbing company T-shirt that did say "Clean your pipes."
Oh my goodness.
Ooh.
I wish I still had it. Honestly, it was
Okay,
a quality
side
T-shirt.
trip because I'm very ill. So I didn't know what that phrase meant because I'm a good girl.
Oh my god!
And it was on a movie. There was a movie that came out when I was a kid, but I don't remember what that movie's called. It was a B movie, blah blah. But in the thing, he goes, "These pipes are clean," and the way he said it, I knew it meant something. And I asked my mom, I was like, "What does that mean?" She's like, "Oh, you're disgusting." I didn't know what that meant, or I've got a gun in my pocket, or is that a gun in your pocket? Are you happy to see me?
You're pleased to see me, yeah?
Yeah, I was like, what does that mean? She's like, you're so filthy, Kylie.
No, I'm just asking.
I didn't know.
Kylie, I
I
don't
was
think she's saying
21.
that you're filthy. I just think maybe your mum is.
Ooh, potentially so.
She was.
No disrespect to your mother, I must say.
No. No worries there. No, but yeah. So side trip on that. I was joking like, oh, I was 21. When I actually think I was an adult when I found out what the whole pipe thing was.
Brilliant. Anyway, so we're obviously getting through the movie.
Yeah.
At this point, we're getting to the early stages of where things start to change. So we have the moment where both Mario and Luigi are sucked into the warp pipe, and they go down and down. Well, Luigi goes first, does he not? And then Mario sort of follows behind.
I think that's correct. Yes.
Thanks for the visual representation. They do eventually get split up as one. I don't know. I can't remember exactly how they end up getting split up. One of them goes from one pipe to the other. Like,
Yeah.
one goes to
Yeah.
Bowser's Kingdom, or the Dark Land, sorry, and the other goes to the Mushroom Kingdom. So, guesses who goes where?
Mario
Woohoo!
goes to the Dark World. Thor, the Dark
Wrong.
World.
Oh God, let's not talk about that. Moving on. I don't want to have to remember that again.
Oh gosh, I actually like.
That's
Dark
another
World.
Chris movie. That's
That's
Chris
right.
Hemsworth.
Yes.
Yes, different Chris, wrong
I
Chris, wrong
actually like
franchise.
Dark World. Thank you.
Everyone's entitled to their opinion.
I don't like Blood and Thunder, though. I didn't like that.
Okay, good. So, yeah, this is our first interaction with the Mushroom Kingdom. So Mario falls through a pipe, finds himself in a mysterious mushroom world, and, then comes into contact with Keegan-Michael Key's Toad.
Don't touch that mushroom!
Actually, you can touch that mushroom. That's perfectly fine.
Fine. Oh, that was perfectly fine. Don't worry about it.
Yes, in case you haven't realised, Mike is literally reenacting certain scenes of the movie with puppets. This is fantastic.
We've got the Super Mario Bros. B movie going on here.
Yes. So, obviously, this is our first interaction with the Mushroom Kingdom that we see. So, how do we feel it looked and reacted to the world?
I thought it looked great. I'm not gonna lie. Like, for any negatives I have on this film, which to be fair aren't that many, it looked amazing.
Yes.
They cartooned it up just enough. You know, it almost felt like what Disney World would feel like. I think. If it but they do have
Super Nintendo
I was
World.
gonna say they have a Super Nintendo.
That would be
World.
that one.
So more like that, I think.
Yes.
Because it had like a little bit extra layer of cartooniness to it, but it worked.
Yeah, sort of like how all the warp pipes work around, like the clear glass pipes, and how there are just blocks there so that people can just like go further up to the different levels of the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah.
It was strange how it all looked and how it all reacted. It was strange, but it worked. I just felt it really just worked. And it's obviously a very, very clear difference that you get between the Mushroom Kingdom and between Brooklyn.
Yeah, well, that's I thought that was very good for making them different.
Mike?
And just the, getting around the Mushroom Kingdom as well, like all the pipes and the floating platforms and then, the floating blocks as well. And then Mario's got to go through all these pipes and he's just absolutely exhausted after all of it.
Yeah, I love that. That's so good.
Yeah, I just love the cool little things that you have throughout that where you've got all the Toad houses and the little musical nod that you have to that when it goes past it. The fact that one of the Toads drops a coin and he gives it back to him and going through the pipe for the first time, and it just reminded me of that moment from the first episode of Futurama when Fry does it.
Yes,
and then you just got the guy at the end, it's like, tourist.
That's it, yeah. I knew it reminded me of something, and that is exactly it, Pete.
That is it, yeah.
That's why I'm here.
That's exactly why. Oh,
I am a walking reference machine, like a Nintendo movie.
Yes.
Boom.
Boom. Anyway, so basically the journey is that Mario and Toad are making their way towards Princess Peach's castle.
Princess Peach.
So Toad claims he knows Peach, doesn't tell Mario that he doesn't actually, takes her up to Peach's castle and then has to invade the castle.
Yes.
Yes, but to be fair, I mean the line from the Toad Guardsman.
Yes.
Was a classic, and
I mean
it's
as well. You knew it was coming.
Oh yes, it had
Could
to.
see it a mile away, yes, but it was a very nice reference. It was like, I think she's in another castle, and it's just a cheeky little laugh between them. It was like, yeah, they know what they're doing.
That's so good. I like that.
It was just such a great delivery as well. You just knew it was coming, but the way it was delivered as well, you still, fair play.
That's the thing I could probably say about most of this movie is you could know most of what's going to happen. The plot is so incredibly easy to follow, but as like a Nintendo fan, you're gonna get all the references, all the little points of dialogue and all that. So it's great.
Yeah.
Some respect.
Kiley,
you right?
Are you okay?
I'm good. I'm good. I am hanging in here, guys.
Okay, you just hit the stick right then.
I know. You don't have to stick around. You're fine.
I'm trying my best. But yeah, we've got some chat if you want to read that while I
yes, I forgot about that. Let me get to that. So yes, of course. So Rock'em Sock'em Halt. Peach was great jumping and floating in the Super Mario 3D world. Yes, she was.
Absolutely.
Good character in that game.
Yeah.
That's a character.
What? Yes. What do you mean this game? This game right here? This game right here.
More
Great
visual
game.
references for our listeners.
Oh, Duke is Duke from Secret Life of Pets.
Oh, right.
Duke.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, that was put in by Rock and Sock and Hulk in the chat. So he said, I found that the plot was trying to hit all the goalposts of Joseph Campbell's seminal hero's journey, which so many successful films have used as a backbone in their story structures, such as Star Wars, Iron Man, and A Lion King. However, there was a lack of connective tissue between those goals. I feel this movie could have been a bit longer. Some of the scene transitions were too abrupt. Now, we'll get to some of this.
Oh, okay. I was going to say...
Yes.
I think that some of that was intentionally done because they wanted to appeal to kids.
Yes, I agree.
That's what my theory is. Although I think now that it looks like more adults have watched it than kids, I think maybe the next one will be a little bit more paced out, I guess.
I'm not quite sure about that. I think this is a film that can be enjoyed by everyone.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It is mainly, obviously, focused on being a kids' movie more than anything. There are a few jokes in there that are obviously meant for, adults, like is in every kids' film.
I was gonna say, yeah.
But, it is mainly aimed at that sort of demographic and aimed at parents with kids of an age, where those parents obviously grew up with Mario.
Playing those games.
Yeah, I don't know if they really thought that a lot of 30 and 40-year-olds are actually going to go without kids to this, like I did, but hey.
Well, I did. Yeah. And to be fair, my mum has seen all the Minions films, so, and she's like, she's something, you know what I mean? And she absolutely loves the film. So, say what you want about Illumination, but, they do make films for, pretty much everyone. They cater for all kinds of, demographics.
You're correct.
And like you said about, there were some jokes in there for adults, but in the Mario movie, but not so much like you would think like, oh, that's a typical adult joke. Like, for example, in Shrek, a lot of these mainly being that adults would remember from when they were kids. So, like, visual references or musical references.
Like him playing the NES or playing or the Wrecking Crew arcade and stuff like that.
Nostalgia.
Or the GameCube sound when Luigi's phone rings. Yeah.
Yes, that was really good. Nostalgia
so,
isn't what it used to be.
I think next up, as part of the moving plot was, that was when we first focused on where Luigi hits, which is in the Darklands. He's then chased by a bunch of, what is it?
Dry Bones.
That's the one. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I struggled with the name there. Yeah, it's chased by a bunch of Dry Bones, into a castle of some sorts. Which can obviously feel like a bit of a nod to a Luigi's Mansion reference, which I thought was quite cool. We've seen that in the trailer already.
There was a musical touch as well there for Luigi's Mansion.
There was, yeah.
That just starts out, goes, and then it just stops.
I did notice that as well, even though I'm not as familiar with the Luigi Mansion games. I do know that piece of music, so...
They're good games.
Mario! Mario!
So we've got a few of those, but then obviously he's captured by Kamek and Bowser and then put into prison. And that's basically where he remains for the vast majority of the movie, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, see, that's kind of one of my things. It's like, I don't know how they would do it differently, but also it was like, I
kind of had no problem with this. I sort of felt like it was where they were going to go. As soon as you set Luigi up walking around in a dark atmospheric place, you kind of know he's going to get scared and probably get captured. And
true.
Considering what we had already seen from the trailers, it was pretty obvious that Peach was not going to be the one that that was going to get captured.
I mean, from a story perspective. Sorry, losing my sense of speech now. From a story's perspective, bloody hell. it probably made more sense for like Luigi to be captured to give Mario motive to rescue him.
Right.
I
Yes,
mean,
I agree.
like Princess Peach, he's never met before, and then all of a sudden he's going to try and save this princess.
That is a good
Doesn't make
point.
sense from a logical
Yeah.
standpoint. So them doing this, it's probably the deepest part of this whole story.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's not
I
a
agree.
very deep story, but that is
No.
probably the deepest part. It's because of his love for his brother
Yeah.
that he's gone to enlist the help of this princess so that he could rescue, his brother. So.
Yes. Yes.
I can't lie.
Right, next up. Sorry, Kylie, did you have anything to say about this?
No, just that I hadn't thought of it that way.
Yeah. It makes sense to me. That's sort of what I was trying to say, but Mike's obviously explained it a hell of a lot better than I ever did. So, yeah, next we obviously get to the point where he's infiltrated the castle and finally meets up with Princess Peach, and, Mario does, and gets his butt kicked.
Yeah. Oh, goodness.
Yeah. Thank you.
Twitch is going to ban us for that, Mike.
Yes. From there, I don't. So before he gets chucked out of the castle, I'm not kind of sure how she ends up taking him along. I don't remember that part. So, Mike, how does that happen?
Okay, so basically, Mario says to her that he'll do anything to try and save his brother, and she wants to save the Russian kingdom.
Yeah.
And she says, "Well, okay, if you can get through this like obstacle course, well, then you can come with me."
There you go. Yeah, I couldn't remember how we got to the obstacle course, so thanks for that.
Yeah.
So
No worries.
So
that's what I'm here for.
There you go.
Thank you very much. So yeah, we get to an obstacle course, as Mike has said. Not gonna lie, got very, very big sort of World 1-1 vibes from this, as well as a few sort of like a few castle references as well. So like the obstacle with the flames.
Yep.
Where he was trying to get underneath that for a while and he's really struggled with that.
I love
that. I mean, just the references in that alone. I mean, a lot has been said about this particular scene and the fact that Peach clears this in one and then has a bit of a sassy moment with Mario where she's trying to obviously not say to him that she's done it first time.
But it's her obstacle course.
Uh,
It's also the fact she grew up in this world.
Well, that's what
which she does state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That she grew up in the world. But it replicates the experiences that we all had as, Mario fans, playing through the games and, failing at, there's one particular obstacle that you just can't get past. And then you finally do it, and then you falter at the next one.
Yes.
And then in the end, you eventually beat the stage. So, it just was like a culmination of like all of our experiences is in one.
Yeah, and I really kind of like that obviously that Peach is supposed to be like us, the audience, like remembering those bad runs that we've had over the years and like trying to get through levels and just struggling, especially that incredibly large gap in Mario 1, which is a pain in the ass. So anyway, we know the big jump.
Where?
The big jump.
In the underground?
Yes. No, it's on an overground level. I believe it's in World 4 or 5.
Oh, yes. I know what you're talking about now. I do.
So
yes.
Yeah, it's a pain. I hate that jump.
The two skinny things, the two skinny rocks. And
Yes,
the big gap.
that's the one. Yeah, so you have to run over there. Yeah, so you try and jump that, and you don't get enough momentum to actually get over the gap.
I was gonna say I didn't know that you could run over the spots.
No, it took me a long time to figure that out too.
Yeah. Mike's like, I got it the first time. What's wrong with you?
No, I did not.
All right, Peach, calm down.
Mind you, to be fair, I was about 3 or 4 at the time when playing that.
Say,
So
we're
no,
all...
I did not.
Yeah, me
we're all
too.
itty bitty.
In fact, I think the only time I actually managed to get over that was with Super Mario 35.
Oh, goodness.
Yes, so did I actually.
Really?
And I thought to myself, yes, I can do this. And then somebody like murdered me afterwards. It's like, it doesn't matter. I managed to make the jump.
Yeah, there you go. Oh,
Redemption for all those years.
Yeah, exactly.
So, actually, this is where we get first introduced to the idea of power-ups.
Yes.
So we get introduced to the mushroom power-up at first. I'm gonna be honest here.
Okay.
I thought they introduced the power-ups quite well.
Yeah.
Obviously the fact that they've introduced them in random blocks there.
Yeah.
I do also feel like there's something they could probably change in the future in terms of Mario lore, because I really like this as an idea, like from the movie. Fields of fire flowers and ice flowers,
Oh,
rather
yeah.
than them just being in blocks. I really like that aspect of just fields of fire flowers.
That's kind of cool. Yeah.
Well, they are flowers after all. So,
Exactly,
being able to
exactly.
see this field of, all these flowers, it was really, really
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, and
like
it's
you
the
said,
same with the
that,
leaf suit as well. Like
Yeah.
the Tanuki suit, which is obviously a leaf.
Yeah.
It could easily fall off of any tree.
Yeah.
Mm.
I like that.
Like, I like the natural sort of approach that they've had to world building with putting the power ups actually in real life, rather than them just being these weird commodity things that you'll get from time to time.
Yeah.
Like with the Donkey Kong fight, I'm skipping ahead a little bit. You can obviously understand why they are there, and we'll get to that. But yeah, if they were to sort of be in blocks around the world, it would feel out of place to me.
Yeah. No, I think you're right there.
It would take a bit. It's a bit harder to explain that it's just there because it's just there. That kind of thing. It's like, well, you never know what you're gonna get, and it's like a big like Forrest Gump sort of moment, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a question block. You never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah. So I think it's around about this point in the movie where Mario's completed the obstacle course, where Peach has to make a rousing speech to her people that they're going to be under attack from Bowser, who now owns a Power Star, and that they need to request the help of the Kong army, which they've been, I wouldn't say they've been at war with, but they've had a really unusual alliance, let's say, to the point where they don't help each other, but they just leave each other alone.
Mutual assured destruction.
Yes, I agree. So this is where the people of, the Toad community of the Mushroom Kingdom are introduced to Mario for the first time, and he is told that he is not important.
I love that.
Who's he?
I love that.
He's not important.
Yay!
I mean, this is a very typical Illumination joke that we usually get, so it was nice to see their brand of humour sort of in there as well.
But also,
like, whilst I'm not the biggest fan of the Minions movie, Despicable Me is still an all-timer.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Like the first one, anyway.
But isn't there like a kind of like a conspiracy over on YouTube that's been around for a few years that says Toad's the actual main character?
I think he probably is, to be honest.
Yes, there's so you know how they did Jar Jar is actually like
the Sith Lord.
A Sith Lord, I think it might be the same
God,
people. Yeah, they said Toad's the main character of the Super Mario games.
I mean, it would kind of make sense. He's technically like the most unreliable narrator in the Mushroom Kingdom,
exactly.
so
exactly.
You can interpret that as many pit deaths as unreliable narration.
Yeah.
And then he fell down the hole and then respawned at the end. What? How does that work?
Exactly.
Yeah. So then this is where we start getting introduced to a lot more of the kingdoms around the world. So let's play Spot the Kingdom and which game they appeared from.
Oh.
So we've got the Snowy Kingdom in there.
Yep.
Which obviously has been featured in quite a few games, including Mario 64, Mario Odyssey.
Yep.
You also had the Tosinator Kingdom, which is from Odyssey as well, with the upside down pyramids, which is also technically Sarasaland, I believe it is. From from Super Mario Land. Yeah, Super Mario Land, which is Sarasaland, which is where Daisy comes from.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
Then I don't remember any of the others as well, but we did get a really good nod.
Battlefield.
We did have Bob-omb Battlefield. Yeah, we also had that famous Yoshi's Island moment as well, where you've got which was from the opening movie of Super Smash Bros. Melee.
Yes, that's right. I thought I saw it from somewhere, and it is. Yeah. That's it. That's it.
And a few others, but yeah, other than that, I can't remember without a second viewing, of course.
Well, there was the Bob-omb Battlefield, and then there was the bridge where the fish fly over, which I think is a reference to Super Mario Bros. The first game.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a Super Mario Bros. 1 and Super Mario Bros. 3 where they have that with the Cheeps.
I'm so sorry.
Cheeps jumping over the bridge.
Yes.
Yeah.
So after a while, we've obviously made our way to the Kong Kingdom. This is where obviously we have probably our most egregious moment with the soundtrack. So I'm going to let you take this, Mike, because you've been a very big talking point about this on social media.
So are we talking about the
DK
startup
rap.
to it? Okay, DK rap. Okay,
We're
we're not talking
talking
about
specific.
Take On Me.
No, we're not going to talk about that. I'd rather not talk about the licensed music in this film. I felt it didn't work at all.
I have to agree with you, Pete. I can't believe
Yeah, it wasn't necessary. It wasn't really necessary, to be
No.
fair.
No, I mean, I
And it's
tap my
overused.
toes
All the
along
other
because they're good
yeah.
songs,
Yeah.
but you
But
know,
they're
that's about it.
They used it in
Yeah.
Deadpool.
But yeah, we did have a lot of cues musically, and I've gone back and listened to the soundtrack a lot since this movie. And the musical notes that they've done with the Donkey Kong Country music, fantastic.
Yeah.
The DK rap not having a credit by Grant Kirkhope, however, that's a tragedy for me.
That's
So
an
yeah,
absolute
please, the floor is yours. Talk
Take
about
it
this
on.
as much
Okay,
as
then,
you
right.
like.
Now, yeah. Now, I get the DK rap. It's had a bad rap for a long, long time, and then all of a sudden, people started thinking, "Yeah, I went there."
Whilst I was drinking
but
water
it
there.
was, yeah, but it was noticeably bad because of that very reason. It was like the typical 90s, let's do this, that kind of thing, and it just encompassed all of that.
Donkey
So,
Kong.
yeah, DK. Donkey Kong is here. Right. He is actually.
He's finally back.
Visual cues.
His coconut gun, it can fire in spurts. If he shoots you, it's gonna hurt.
Oh my gosh.
I did say at the beginning, people should watch the podcast.
Yes,
not just
you
listen.
did.
That's right. Oh, good.
I'm glad you did.
I try to do what I can, just to crack some smiles, get people laughing.
It's
Here we are.
working.
Yeah, well, I hope so. So, so the DK rap, it was notably bad for a lot of good and bad reasons as well. It was obviously composed by Grant Kirkhope for Donkey Kong 64, and him and his buddies at the time, they did sing the song as well. And the fact that it didn't get credited for him when you got all these licensed songs appearing in the credits. And all the credits, this is the composer, the studio it was done in, from what time, blah, 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 blah. And then you got DK Rap from Donkey Kong 64. And you think, no.
That what was weird. I saw that. Man? I saw that and I went, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Was very, very strange. Also, I know that the vast majority of the music in terms of the traditional Mario music was done by Koji Kondo, which fantastic, great to have him on board, but he didn't exactly create all of this music, including some of the Donkey Kong stuff, which was Grant Kirkhope, so probably should have had a huge credit in that. And that too, yeah. So those two did great work with the Donkey Kong Country franchise, and had it not been for the work that Rare had done, I don't think Donkey Kong would really be as relevant as he is now.
It was such a graphically forward game, at least for me back then.
Yeah.
Well, also the designs as well of Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong and Cranky Kong and Dixie Kong and all the other Kongs that were used in that very scene were all taken from the designs that were created by Rare.
There you go. So
one thing I did one thing I did realize with Diddy Kong's character, on his hat, it doesn't say Nintendo on it.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, I didn't pay attention.
And I didn't catch it the first time round, but the second time round I saw it. It had a little star in the corner, but it didn't have that typical Nintendo.
Yeah.
Which was weird, actually. I noticed that. I was like, that's weird how they've not done that. But hey, look, let's get into that now, because obviously we're at the Kong Kingdom section. So they get picked up by a guard at the doors, and obviously they are transported via a Rainbow Road track straight up to Cranky Kong's domain. Now, he's another one that I felt was very weak. I did not like the voice of Cranky Kong in this movie at all.
That's weird, because Cranky could have been the character that kind of steals the scene. They're only in there for a little bit. I just felt like that, and I have to agree with you, Pete. It just wasn't dynamic. It didn't have a
it didn't fit for me.
Yeah.
I imagine It's gonna sound bad, but I
Okay.
imagine like a typical old man
Well, yeah.
from for Cranky Kong.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
back in my day, sort of thing. But we
That's
didn't get
how-
that with him. He sort of felt a bit too
yeah.
energetic and a bit too youthful for me. Like the
I
whole
suppose
dynamic between the two of them, actually, and you see that in the opening to Donkey Kong Country, is that Cranky is very traditional. He's older. He's more refined. And Donkey Kong has attitude, and you didn't really feel like that there was too much difference between the two of them at times in the movie.
though I suppose it's probably taken a little bit more from like the Donkey Kong series.
Oh.
There was a TV series, wasn't
Yes,
there? A while
you're
back?
right. Yeah,
I
That's a
think he
good
probably
point.
took a bit more like inspiration from that character, where it's a bit more,
Yeah.
not so much geriatric.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Audibly, obviously by speaking. I don't think his character was very, geriatric or, very old in that sense.
yeah.
Cranky, yes. He did have a kind of like, attitude into him then. But I think that's what they were trying to just encompass this time around with this character as well. But like you said, yeah, it could have done with feeling a bit older, a bit, wiser, a bit.
Yeah. Because that's
Yeah, I
in the
agree.
game that's what he is, when you talk to him.
Mm. So obviously from here, this is where we get Peach pleading with Cranky to obviously lend forces. He gets bored and is like, right, if your minion can, which is Mario, obviously, can beat my son Donkey Kong, then we'll give you the troops and we'll help you with your assault. So obviously Peach has no faith in Mario because he's only just got there. It's taken him a long time to complete the obstacle course, and now he's going to fight probably one of the most formidable foes in the entirety of the kingdom. So yeah, how this is set up is obviously there's a load of blocks in the sky in a coliseum, like a Roman coliseum. There you go, Kylie. Next week. So there's to make the fight fair. Cranky has allowed the use of power ups to be for Mario to use because he thinks it's going to be a walkover. And at the start of it, it was a walkover.
Yeah. Yes. Oh goodness. We do have a reenactment, a live reenactment.
Yes, he literally gets him on the ground and gives him a good old slapping about. Also, sorry, I need to bring up one thing from the chat. Rock'em Sock'em Hope did say, "Take on Me" by Aha was apparently selected because it was #1 in the charts when the NES launched in the US.
Oh.
Ah.
But there was
Very interesting.
There's a lot of good music.
So yeah, okay. So as this goes on, Mario then pops a block and takes a power up. He gets the poison mushroom, I'm afraid.
The mini mushroom.
Yeah, the mini mushroom. Sorry, but it could be construed as the poison mushroom as well.
True.
Either way.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And
he then gets
like a
laughed.
Tom Thumb. So he goes from this
to
this.
Nice. Very nice. So yeah, he then gets laughed at by all the crowd and by Donkey Kong, and he sort of takes everyone a little bit sort of off guard. He starts making some insane jumps, starts moving himself around a little bit more, and gets the use of another power-up, which is the cat suit.
Meow.
And he gets laughed at for the cat suit because everyone thinks the cat suit is useless.
Yeah, that's weird. Like, how did they not know?
I mean, because it's cute and furry, and people just don't understand the cats. I don't know. Maybe that's an inherent problem with the Kongs. Maybe they're racist towards cats.
Speciesist.
Yeah. They're speciesist. Yes, possibly. So I don't know. But anyway, what do we make of the image of Mario as Cat Mario?
I love it. I'm sorry,
I thought it was very good. I thought it was very,
amazing.
in keeping with like Super Mario 3D
Exactly.
World. I did love to see that in the film as well. So I thought it was pretty cool.
I would have to say as well, narratively speaking, this is a very good moment because this is where he finally figures out how to really utilize the power-ups because he says to himself, "Wait, I'm a cat."
Yes.
And then he sort of realizes what he actually is and how he can utilize that power to his own gain. Because he's then avoiding every single one of Donkey Kong's strikes with his incredible agility.
Yes.
This is where we get a few nods to Super Smash Brothers as well, such as the Meteor Strike and the Mario helicopter or the down air, sorry.
Down air.
Which was kind of cool.
That was
So
Oh,
it's Spin Attack.
That was
yeah.
good.
Yeah, so Mario defeats Donkey Kong and the forces are obtained. And they have to make their way back to the Mushroom Kingdom, and in order to do so, they need to use the secret roads.
Yes.
And for this, we need vehicles.
I love that.
We need carts.
We do
Hell
need
yes.
Oh yeah, baby.
This was one of my favourite moments in the film because that music. Mwah.
Oh, yes.
Obviously as well, I'm not gonna lie, I love Rainbow Road more than anything in the Mario Kart games. You know, and the fact that they mostly utilised SNES Rainbow Road's music for this.
Goodness.
Oh, mwah. Yes, so they did the loadout music from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and then obviously the track portion of it is using the SNES Rainbow Road music, which, oh yeah, very nice.
It was good, but I still prefer the N64 Rainbow Road version, I must admit.
The remix of that on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is a piece of gloriousness that I love more than anything. But yes, to race on the track, SNES Rainbow Road is more fun.
Though I must admit, the SNES music or the SNES Rainbow music was much more fitting for the film.
Yeah, that's sort of what I meant in that respect. Yeah. It was more impactful because most people will know more about Mario Kart, like Super Mario Kart, rather than 64. Yeah, so we have it where all of our protagonists, including Cranky, Donkey, and everyone else, including Toad, in a big 4x4, which is awesome, by the way.
Oh yes. Seems like he's compensating for something.
He might be, I think.
He is.
So this is where, unfortunately, Bowser has figured out what is going on and has made his way to the secret track and has blown a big hole in that and has let his forces through to take them down. Nobody makes it through apart from Peach. Mm-hmm. And at this point, this is where Donkey Kong and Mario are both separated from the pack. Cranky Kong and a few others are captured. And Peach, I think, still makes her way back with Toad.
Yes.
So, and this is where...
because of the lead commander or whatever of the Koopa Army, the blue shell,
yes,
obviously eradicates the Mario and Donkey Kong and their cart, and it's what puts a hole in the road. Yeah, and I feel like there was a missing plot point there, or character development, because it's like, what was Blue Shell's motives, or for his aggression towards Mario and Donkey Kong? He doesn't know them from Adam. So it's like, why is all of a sudden he's so, dedicated in trying to take them out? And I did see people on Twitter say that he feels like there could have been a backstory or another scene where it probably caught up with them in a different area.
Yeah.
And that maybe they had a set to and he got defeated. So he's trying to redeem himself, basically. So I feel like there was a missing plot point that could have developed his character a bit better.
Yeah, it could also be a point that they could bring up in a potential sequel as well, is why are all the Goombas and the Koopa Troopers obviously with Bowser?
I would like to know that. I would like to know that lore. I mean, I know that...
I know he says he's the king of the Koopas, but, the Koopa Trooper and a Goomba are very, very different.
Exactly.
So,
and also there's those other guys as well.
Yeah.
Which was another joke.
Yes. So this is where Donkey Kong and Mario get separated. They fall off the track and into a load of water below. Donkey Kong gets hit by a tire and gets knocked out, and Mario needs to save him. They then have a heart-to-heart where they both realise that they're just trying to play up to their dads to make them proud, and they have a little bit of an emotional bond together. Whilst they still don't like each other, there is an unholy alliance, let's say.
But I think that actually reflects a lot in the games as well. Donkey Kong.
It kind of does, because Donkey Kong has always had a bit of an uneasy alliance with Mario to some degree.
Because, of course, in the very, very, very first game, obviously he stole. Was it Princess Daisy?
Pauline.
No.
Who is actually, I don't know if you noticed, was the mayor of Brooklyn.
Yes.
Or mayor of New York, sorry.
Yes, I thought that was interesting.
Yes.
But, there were enemies there. But then, through the years, Donkey Kong's kind of, coming to his own. And,
Well, according to the lore,
uh-huh.
Donkey Kong in the original Donkey Kong games is supposed to be Cranky Kong or something, and
It
the
is,
actual
yeah.
Donkey later games is
so
his
there
like
is
his grandson. Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, Donkey Kong is not actually like his direct descendant.
What?
It's Donkey Kong Jr.'s son.
What?
Mm.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, I know.
Mind blown.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now I have to
Yeah,
dig
it's a
into
bit
Donkey Kong
unusual. Yes, she
yes.
is also mayor of New Donk City in Odyssey,
Yeah.
which is the best level in Mario history. Not
But it's
just
weird.
saying.
Oh,
They're humans. They're all humans, and they don't look like Mario.
Yep. It's a bit strange anyway. Let's not get too bogged down on that, because this is at the moment where Mario and Donkey Kong find themselves in peril because they find themselves being eaten by a very large beast.
Gosh.
Anyone who knows the games will know this is from Mario 64.
Yes, an
Oh,
actual thrilling part. Because, like I said, I don't get scared on games, but that, I don't know why that part always, made me a little nervous. A little nervous.
I mean, it looked a bit weird in its 64 goodness, let's say.
It looked scary.
Oh yes.
In its 64ness. I think it's because it was such a large enemy, and back then I wasn't used to playing against large enemies. And that didn't happen for me until God of War on the PlayStation.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
Yeah, and so that was like the biggest enemy. Oh, it's so funny to look back now. And then, like the dragons in Skyrim, it's just like, now that's like nothing, it's weird.
Yep.
Well, what I did like about the eel, especially like Mario 64, is like one of the first stars is actually in front of its face, so you had to try and get it.
Yes.
Oh wait, you had to swim past its face, sorry, and then get it to come out because the star's on its tail. And then after you collect that star, the next time you go in, the eel is actually swimming around in that pool.
Yeah, because you've unleashed it because of it's been protecting that star.
And for some reason, that was like terrifying to me. Not like terrifying, but enough that I was like, ooh.
Okay.
And I think
anyway,
the movie captured that was my point.
Yes, so this is around about the point where we switch back to Bowser, who is obviously making his assault on the Mushroom Kingdom. Peach has made it back, and just in time for Bowser to arrive, where he makes his love for the princess known by singing, by telling her that he wants to marry her, and the only way that she can actually avoid war is by accepting the proposal to get married to Bowser.
Oh goodness, he just wants to marry her gently.
Brilliant.
Marry her gently.
I'm glad you went for the sensitive version there. But yes, I did. When the Peaches song did come up at one point, I was thinking of that Tenacious D song immediately.
The piano does sound a little familiar. Yes. It does.
But that's the thing, is you get someone like Jack Black, you're going to have to do something like that. And I thought it was kind of perfect. Even to the point, don't know if you noticed it, but when he does his run round in the speech with Kamek earlier on in the movie, he calls her Peaches, and that's obviously a little playful name he has for her to himself and to Kamek, but he actually calls her that.
Oh my god!
When he's saying it as well, which I think is really funny.
I didn't even catch that. That was a good catch. Oh.
So yeah, he makes his intentions known, and that's she does it to save her kingdom. Anyway, we've then switched back to Mario, who has obviously been ingested by the eel. After a bit of, let's say, argument between Donkey Kong and Mario, they realise that Donkey Kong doing a ground pound on it will cause the eel to want to get rid of them.
Oh, I love that.
So does. And then they find themselves back in the Mushroom Kingdom. Very handily, just as the wedding is just about to happen.
It is white, if you notice. Oh, there. Yeah, pink. Okay.
That's why I was prepared. Thank you.
Oh
yes. Actually has them in their white.
Annoyingly, I don't have my Peach wedding dress one anymore. I don't know where it is. No,
Okay,
look,
hold my
look.
beer. Hold my beer.
No,
Of course,
yeah, okay.
Mike's got it. Of course.
I know. The annoying thing was, is
love
I
it.
packed it away somewhere when I was moving rooms,
I was
and it
gonna
went
say,
missing.
It'll turn up when you move house. Oh, there it
Yes,
is.
thank you, thank you,
Oh goodness.
thank you for that.
It's the full cast.
Yeah, I will
here,
find
people.
it.
It's the
So I
full
was just
cast.
saying to Kylie that it got lost, sort of in a room move. So hopefully, when I move house, I'll find it again.
Hidden in a box somewhere. Oh,
I
dear.
hope so. I really hope so.
Your princess
Maybe
is
so.
in another castle.
Yeah, the box castle. Okay, so this is where we start to get to Act 3 of the movie. You know, the stakes are all held. So everyone that got captured by Bowser at this point, including our very, very unfortunate Luigi, who's barely featured in the movie, Cranky Kong, and I'm going to say a very, very masochistic Luma as well.
We finally touch on the Luma.
Yeah.
The Luma is probably the weirdest part of this movie, but it was very, very funny.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Oh, it was
I
weird.
do feel sorry for the penguins and all the other prisoners that had to endure that Luma and its sense
Yes.
of mortality.
Oh, will you stop already?
Oh, look, we got fresh meat for the grinder. Ah!
And that's weird, considering the Mario Galaxy, they're all so happy. They're
I
all
know.
so happy. I really
Maybe
like
that's what
that.
they're like when Rosalina isn't around.
Oh,
You know,
that's
Jimmy,
interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Anyway,
I mean,
so they are put in cages and they are offered as sacrificial lambs when Bowser weds Peach. So you get this moment where obviously Donkey Kong and Mario turn up and save everyone at the right time before they hit lava. And then battle ensues between Mario and Bowser.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not too unhappy with the initial battle.
Mm-hmm.
And then as things progress, I'm not sure how it comes to be, but they end up in Brooklyn again. I think they go through the pipe, don't they?
Yes. So basically, Bowser gets frozen by Peach.
Yeah.
She uses the ice flower.
And then she starts setting, people on, sets Bowser on ice and then tries to stop the chains. Then obviously Donkey Kong and Mario, they come in, save the day as well. Then Bowser breaks free and then he sets off a giant Banzai Bill to destroy the Mushroom Kingdom.
Right.
Yep.
Mario takes it away from the Mushroom Kingdom and then sticks it through the green pipe or leads it to the green pipe.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes,
And then
he does.
somehow
yeah.
it sucks everything in and brings the Mushroom Kingdom.
The ensuing explosion then causes the warp pipe to sort of dissipate and sucks everything from the Mushroom Kingdom through into the real world.
Yes.
Including all its inhabitants.
Exactly.
So you get Bowser, you get Peach, you get Mario, Luigi, and all that lot, all sort of standing there as New York or as Brooklyn is essentially getting invaded by this very large Bowser. It's at this point, obviously, where the superstar goes a little bit awry, and we get the obvious moment where Mario and Luigi team up, pick up said superstar, and become invincible.
Yeah.
And take down Bowser.
Yep.
Just
One of the most
for,
epic finishes in the new film. Who are we waiting on? Me?
Yeah, I am waiting on you. We need visual reenactment.
We're coming up, both of them together.
There we go.
Wow.
There we go. Yeah, and
I
this
feel
is.
like I'm going to have to actually make this video.
I think so.
I think you are. I really do think you are. The puppet remake. So, so we got a few more nods here to Super Smash Brothers as well, with a few of Luigi's moves too.
Jonathan is like almost a year of subscriptions.
Thank you, Jonathan. 23 months. That's 2 years. Nearly 2 years.
That is dedication there.
Holy crap, yes it is. And we thank you for it very much.
Thank you very much, my friend. So yeah, we're just coming to the end of the movie, so if you haven't actually seen it, please stay away. No offense.
Unless you don't care about spoilers. Yeah.
This podcast
I'm in and out.
is
I
for
haven't
you,
been able to
but
watch Mario
the film
yet.
first.
Yeah, we did say that. So yeah, he's in and out. He said, but thank you for stopping by anyway.
Yeah, we always love to see your shiny face name.
Yes. There you go. Happy?
Wave violently at me. I'll come
I just
back.
did. I just did.
What does
You'll see it
that
back on the
mean?
VOD. It's fine.
Oh, okay. I'm dying.
I know you are. So yeah, we get to the point obviously where they
But
take
the
down
ambulance
Bowser.
hasn't come yet.
No.
Yeah, it's Northern
The
Ireland. It'll
ambulance
be.
hasn't come yet.
I was to say it's Northern Ireland. It'll be about 5 or 6 hours.
Oh, after the spoilers, we'll let you know. Yep. So we get to that point. So Bowser is taken down. He's then shrunk down into size and put into a jar.
Yes, which I love.
We'll get back to that in a moment. So they are lauded as heroes. This is where we get our Giuseppe moment from earlier on in the movie, where he introduces everyone in Brooklyn to the Super Mario Brothers.
Yes. And then we get the most heartfelt moment in the whole entire movie when
Which is?
Mario and Luigi's father come up to them and says, "That's my boys." It's like,
Yes. That was good. That was good.
Really well done.
So,
I have to say.
yeah.
that was like
With-
Charles Martinet
Yep.
handing over the torch
Yep.
to.
Agreed.
Yeah.
We then close the movie out with a scene where Mario and Luigi are going to work, but actually, they now reside in the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah, wouldn't you?
Do that.
And they make their way via warp pipe back to Brooklyn to do their day's tasks. And that's where the movie ends. Until we get to a few things. So we get to the first moment, which I believe was a miniature Jack Black's Bowser playing Peaches again.
Yes.
And then getting told to shut up.
Yep.
Which I thought was very good.
It's very.
It was a good way to get that nod back in.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then lastly there was only 2 post credits, wasn't there? So there was that. And then
my favorite.
we then get a Yoshi egg.
Wow.
I love Yoshi. Look at his little nose. So round.
Okay, right. I want to say something that
love
I felt
it.
was very, very stupid in my screening.
What?
Mhm.
The people screaming.
Now, you know all the people that stuck around
Yes.
were obviously the diehard Mario fans who were
Yes.
like, oh, we know there's an end credit sequence. Let's stick around because we... So, as I'm walking down, I see this... I've obviously seen the scene.
Yeah.
I will get into that in a moment. I happen to hear someone going, oh, well, Yoshi wasn't in the movie. I'm not sure why they've just left that there.
Maybe.
Okay. Now let me say the one thing that I said to myself,
dear.
and I was that close. I stopped, heard it, and nearly said it to him. You do realise where they're going for the next movie with this. This is kind of what they're setting up.
They're going
Setting
to
up for like
Yoshi.
Super Mario World.
Yeah.
Yes, they're going to Dinosaur Land.
I can't.
That's
wait.
what I took away from it anyway.
Well, I think so.
Yep.
I think that's exactly what they're doing.
So they've set it up in the fact that Yoshi is obviously within Peach's castle somewhere, maybe on the roof.
Well, actually, I'll stop you there. When you go back to the scene with the wedding, and they're doing a preparation for the wedding, there was a table, and they were putting gifts on the table.
Yes, there
and
was.
one of the gifts was a Yoshi egg.
So it's like
Yes,
Game of
there was.
Thrones. It's the Game of
Okay,
Thrones.
yeah. So this is obviously in Peach's castle somewhere.
Peach
Which,
is
to be fair, I missed that the first time around, and only
Right.
saw that the second time.
so
Gonna have to have a look then next time I see it.
Peach is
So,
the
yeah.
Dragon Queen. She's Khaleesi. She's a girl bossing
Okay.
it as Khaleesi.
Brilliant. Anyway, so yeah, this being the case, I think this is what they do to set up the second movie,
Yeah, for sure.
where
100%.
obviously Bowser is now in Peach's castle as a miniature. He manages to find himself back to size, and lo and behold, happens to find a very valuable egg,
Also, I wonder.
pre-hatched.
Right. But I wonder if that means that all his kids, which are not his kids apparently,
No.
The ones that got
Jr.
retconned, the Koopalings,
Yeah, the Koopalings.
Yes.
I bet they all.
Iggy, Molten, Roy,
Wendy,
Ludwig,
Ludwig,
Wendy,
Junior.
Iggy, Junior is probably one of his few actual kids.
Yeah,
Bowser
that
Jr.
is an actual kid.
There are 7 others.
Lemmy.
And I can only seem to ever remember Lemmy.
Lemmy.
Yes, that's a good one. Yes.
Oh my gosh, how did I
You got
remember
them.
that?
You got them. You both got them.
Wow. I played a lot
Between the
of
two of
Super
us.
Mario World. Yeah, I played a lot of Super Mario World.
Oh, so did I, but I can never remember them.
I just like really liked the Koopa Kids.
Were they in Mario World? I mean, I must admit, I've not really played
Yes.
much.
Yeah,
of
they
Mario
were
World. I
the-
did play Mario Bros.
they were.
3. They were definitely in that.
They
mini-
were in the sub castles in Mario
Yes.
World.
Right.
So in the end of each area, you had one of the Koopalings there,
Yeah.
Okay.
and there were 8. There were 7 worlds basically
Yes.
in that game.
And then Bowser being obviously the last
Yeah.
one. The 8.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and they were
The-
also in the TV show. That's probably
That's
why I
it.
remember
Yes, they
them.
were.
Yeah.
And they actually did refer to King Koopa as Dad.
Yeah.
Yes, that's where the retcon is obviously happening.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to talk specifically about one thing that we haven't really mentioned throughout this film, and it's not really going to be much else that we really mention because I think this might be it. I think the music and the soundtrack as a whole is superb. Like, not just because of the Mario musical nods. I actually think that the piece of music, like the one like through line that they have all the way through, and you'll hear it constantly throughout. Mike, I think you'll notice this being a second-time listener or watcher of the film. It's very Illumination, but it works within the whole like soundtrack because you have these little nods to the Mario music, and then you have their through line, and I really like it.
It
Right.
was very, very well done. Very well done. I also got a very like Mario Rabbids kind of vibe
Yeah.
from when
Yes,
they do
I-
Peach when she does the obstacle course and she makes
Yes,
it to the
I
end of the
got-
tag and goes dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
dun,
did get a
it's
little
very
bit of that too.
orchestral. Yeah.
Yeah, they've obviously taken a lot of cues from obviously what they've done with Mario music being orchestral now, with Odyssey having it.
yeah.
Back obviously Super Mario Galaxy being one of the first that they ever did it with. So
And when that song hit, when that song came on, I think in the credits, that really did hit
Yeah, the
me as
Gusty
well,
Garden.
right in the spot. Yeah.
So that end credits music, I mentioned it in our Discord. I've probably listened to that more times than I care to admit since it went up on Spotify, and it might be in double digits by now.
Wow.
I love it. And I've been sat there trying to obviously identify every piece of music that was used there, and it's quite a task. It's quite interesting. But I did come to one realization about something, and this is what further cements my theory about Super Mario Bros. 2 as a movie, if it comes. Where it's going to be is because there's only one piece of music from Super Mario World, and that is the castle theme.
Uh-huh.
Yes, and that was used in the credits, not anywhere else in the
was.
movie.
It was.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. Yes.
Yeah, I think you're correct.
Mm-hmm.
That's such a good piece of music. It just is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic. The choices of music they mainly use for that end credits is actually vast majority of Mario 1, but there is a couple of little cues to Mario 3 as well. And
The interesting
Galaxy.
take that I take from the end credit when they had like the Yoshi egg. Now it reminds me of 2 films. Obviously, one of them being Sonic the Hedgehog when they set it up for
right.
Tails appearing,
Oh,
and the other
okay.
one is probably a bit more obscure. Is the Matthew Broderick
Yes.
film
I knew
Godzilla.
you were
Godzilla.
going to mention
Yes.
this. Yep. Good
It's-
God.
That.
when
the-
they found like there was one single egg that survived the explosion in Madison Square Garden. And it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
Yeah.
I got vibes of
That
that
after, yeah,
immediately. Yeah.
Mm.
Do y'all remember the marketing for that? It was crazy in the U.S. I don't know if it was like that over here.
Yeah, you mean Puff Daddy making music
Oh
for it?
my gosh, it was everywhere.
was.
Oh,
I think my brother actually collected some of the toys of the Raptor. Well, not Raptors, are
yeah,
they?
the little
toys, the micro
baby
ones.
Godzilla.
And he had the puppet as well, the actual big
Yes,
Godzilla
yes.
puppet. Massive
Ah.
that thing was.
It was, yeah. Oh my goodness, it was on like all of the fast food cups and stuff like that. It was just everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
my-
Okay.
That's back when they used to market movies. Anyway, speaking
Yes,
of marketing
right.
movies, though.
That's the movie anyway.
Wait, did we all
the movie.
three? Did we all 3 get our Mario buckets? Because I did.
I did not.
You did, Pete? Same one I got. Yep. I got
I
the
did
yellow
not
one.
because I'm probably going to get. I don't usually. Well, I was running late, so I couldn't exactly go and do concession. So the second time, I probably will.
Yes, you have to, Pete, or I'll just send you mine.
Well, yes, you will. Anyway, so now that the movie is done, let's do some final thoughts. You know, wrap up. Obviously, what we thought about it, and then we'll close this up. So let's start with Mike here. Actually, no, we'll start with Kylie because she's fading fast.
I'm fading so fast. I'll be very, very brief because holy crap, y'all. I am hanging on here. And I don't have any puns. I was gonna make some kind of pun, but I don't have any. I thought. Oh, let's go to ABBA. See, that's not a pun. That's not. Why didn't they have ABBA? Why didn't they have ABBA in the movie? That would have made way more sense than Take On Me. Anyway.
Maybe in the second film, Mario and Luigi get captured, and their mum has to come and save them.
Oh, that would
and
be
then
so
they can have
cool.
Mamma Mia playing.
Mamma Mia. Anyway, Pete is not amused for our
We've
listeners
just lost
at
Pete.
home.
We've just lost Pete. Oh dear. Pete, do you read?
You mentioned ABBA, and I just zoned out. That was it.
ABBA makes everybody happy except Pete. But I've gone off tangent again. So overall, always. It was a solid movie. Again, I say this every week when we talk about movies and TV show. I've been hurting for such good, entertaining films and TV that even if this is mid, it still feels like a refreshing glass of water or something because everything has been crap lately, at least for me, in my personal opinion. So while there is some kind of like minor little things that I, would make it better, it was still a strong, entertaining film with lots of nostalgia, but not like a Family Guy episode where they're trying.
It wasn't
hard.
cheap nostalgia.
Yeah. They earned it. They did earn it, which is important to me. And I'm willing to see a sequel. So I like it. It's good.
I mean, had it not been for me like telling you to go and watch it, you probably wouldn't have watched it. But
I told Mike this off stream, but Pete came home and immediately messaged me and said, "I have homework for you." And I was like, "What? I don't do no homework." And he's like, "Go watch Mario movie right now."
I think that's the first time I've ever told you to actually do something on this podcast.
I think we did something else. There was something, but it was like a lore-heavy episode. I think it was the Rusty Shackleford, whatever his name is. I'm so tired.
Jesus. Oh my god.
Oh,
I'm very sick.
Pete, your thoughts.
No, we'll go to you.
Oh,
We'll go to
Mike,
you because
your
I think
thoughts.
mine's probably going to be the most controversial.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
here we
okay.
go.
Oh no, the movie sucked. I didn't like it at all.
No, yeah. Oh, visual audience.
Lies,
Visual
slander.
audience.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I enjoyed it very, very much so. There were a couple of weak points for me in it. When I first heard, Bowser breaking into song, and I thought, oh my god, they just had to do that. And it did feel from me the first time around, it felt cringy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's intentional.
But then after the music video then released on Twitter, on social media and that, I started listening to it and then getting into it a bit more and thinking, do you know what?
Yeah.
Okay, it's not so bad after all. Would I have preferred, Bowser taking on probably one of Jack Black's more like metal roots?
Oh.
Yes.
Yes.
That would have just been epic.
Wonder Boy.
And especially there's that scene where they've got a rock metal band playing of the Coopers, and then he comes on, it's like, wow, breathing fire, and that was amazing. And then it's like this complete contrast. He's playing a piano and he's playing soft tunes and singing a ballad. It's like, okay, but then it grew on me. It did grow on me, and I really loved the film. And like I said, I have seen it twice. I know it just sounds like I'm just throwing it out there. Basically, people, if you have seen the film, or if you haven't seen the film, go see the film.
Right.
And if you have seen the film, go see it again. It is one of the few films that I've ever seen twice in the cinema. In fact,
Really?
no, it is probably the only film I've ever seen twice in the cinema.
Oh, wow.
There's some films I will watch over and over again on a DVD release, but to actually go to the cinema and watch it, and I thought, no. And basically, because the first time I went with my brother Jack in the UK, and then the second time I went with my partner, and we went to see the film here.
Yep.
And even she said to me that she wants to see the film again.
Oh, see,
So,
that's
you know,
so
it's
good.
just got that staying power. It's got that continuous power to say, you know, it doesn't matter how many times you see this film, you're still going to enjoy it. Yes, the story is relatively weak. Would the events happen in the film if Mario and Luigi didn't go to the Mushroom Kingdom? Yes, because Peach was always going to go to see Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong probably would have helped anyway. And then probably at the end, it probably wouldn't have had the same, you know, same ending, because at the end, Mario and Luigi did come.
Yeah.
They got the superstar and, you know, beat Bowser. But, you know, that whole initial plot point is like, okay, well, Mario's just along there for the ride,
Right.
basically.
Right.
Pretty much, yeah.
But
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed the film. As soon as it becomes available on DVD here in Spain, I'm going to get it as well and probably watch it 100 more times.
So, yes.
With director's commentary.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, I bet
Yep.
they have Charles Martinet talking in the background too.
Oh, they'll have Miyamoto probably in there too.
Oh yeah, but
Well, we never actually touched on Miyamoto, have we?
we
Really?
didn't really. Yeah.
Not at all.
We've spoken all about the film. We've spoken
did.
all about, you know, the characters, and
So
you know,
cool.
I mean, to be fair, I mean, Miyamoto did work on this film as well.
Which I
Yeah,
think
he's an
was-
executive producer in
things
this.
exactly, and trying to keep things as loyal and
See-
as faithful to the games as well. So, you know, hats off to, you know, Miyamoto for actually, you know, staying on point on this
Yeah.
film,
We,
making sure that every single Easter egg and reference that was in the film was meticulously done. It was carefully thought out. You know, it wasn't just, oh, we'll just throw this here and we'll just throw that here, and we'll just like
Exactly.
everything just worked beautifully together.
and we actually said this a few weeks ago during the Last of Us episodes, that the reason why the Last of Us was so successful is they stayed true to the source material. And for some reason, that has always eluded movie Hollywood filmmakers. They don't stick to the source material. Well, then, I mean, Mario's got more source material than probably anyone. And again, it succeeded because they stuck to the source material. And they had the right people, you know, saying, this is how this went, you know, or this is this way, you know, the story beat
It's-
type thing.
I'd say it's very similar in that respect to The Last of Us, with having Neil Druckmann as an executive producer too.
Yeah, which, you know, he's not my favorite person, but having someone
For
that works
cohesion.
on- Huh? Cohesion?
Yeah, for having cohesion
Yes,
in terms
exactly.
of storytelling.
Also, random fact, the movie that I saw 4 times in the theater, you want to guess, Pete? You want to guess what movie I saw 4 times?
Was it Deadpool?
It was Deadpool!
Of course it was.
Pete loves Deadpool. It's his favorite character in the MCU. Because he's now in the MCU.
I quite like Deadpool.
I loved him.
You know, but then I quite like Ryan Reynolds anyway. You know, I've watched a
he's
lot of
okay.
his movies, going back from like Van Wilder.
Oh, yeah.
It's probably one of my favourite movies.
Oh, it's a good movie. It's a good movie.
There is
Oh, yeah.
one scene in that particular movie I can't watch without feeling sick.
Does it involve a hot tub?
No, it involves a pastry.
Oh, goodness.
Ah.
Oh, see, that was
I
back
managed
then,
to
though.
block that from my memory for the last 20 or so years, so thank you for reminding me.
But see, that was back
Look,
during
if I
that
have to
time.
remember it, you have to too.
But remember, American Pie was out at that time. Freddy Got Fingered
Oh, that
was
was
out
a
at that
classic.
time.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, why did so many things at that age have something to do with weird pastries?
It was so fun.
I know.
Weird.
I remember sneaking and going and watching them. But anyway,
Brilliant.
I still didn't have a clue what was going on, but I laughed. But anyway, Pete. How about you, Pete?
Now I have to be really honest here,
Go on.
and I
We're,
think
we're big boys and girls here. We can take it.
Yeah. Oh,
narrative-wise, this is kind of poor. Like in terms of storytelling, like it's mostly fine. Like it's rapid. It sort of does its job that it needs to do.
It
I
does,
felt
yeah.
like they could have fleshed a few things, bit more things out. They could have given a bit more time to breathe. It sort of felt like they jumped between kingdom to kingdom quite quickly, which they didn't give it a lot of time to breathe. There were certain characters that I didn't particularly like Donkey Kong. I just didn't feel like the interpretation was that great. Some of his actions throughout the film didn't really feel like they would actually be what Donkey Kong would do, but
Yeah.
hey, I can't argue that. Did I have a good time though? Of course I did. This is probably the most fun I've had in the cinema in years.
Since
And
Sonic.
it was, No, since John Wick, but you know,
Oh,
like
that's
John
right.
Wick was a different kind. Like
That's right.
this is probably like
He
just
does
the
love
most fun I've had in the cinema in a very, very long time. And whilst
Yeah.
I did enjoy the Sonic movie, this one was more fun than Sonic. Like for me, as being a true Mario fan, it was like it was nice to get an interpretation of the characters that felt more like the source material rather than that god awful 1993 movie that me and Kylie discussed the other day actually has actual overt racism in it.
It's terrible.
I'll get to that afterwards. I'll
Yes.
tell you about that in the post show. It's funny.
Oh yes.
Um,
Oh yes.
but yeah, most characters were very well done. Most, you know, fit the bill. The voice cast I thought was great. Whilst I had some reservations about Anya Taylor-Joy's Princess Peach, I felt she did a really good job actually. Chris Pratt did a fantastic job. I think to a certain degree. Charlie Day and Keegan-Michael Key are revelations for me, and Jack Black obviously goes without saying because I think he gives everything to most roles he's in.
I love him.
I hope that they do a bit more in terms of story with a sequel. I just think, for the most part, the reason why I would give this a 6 out of 10 or a 3 out of 5
I thought you said 7 out
would
of 10.
just be because that Nintendo and Illumination played it too safe.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was wrong. I can't take this. I made a mistake.
Why did I come out this stupid
Told
show?
you. No, I did say that somebody might not like my
But I thought you said 7 out of 10, Pete. Did I miss that?
I've gone back. I did on
no.
Discord. I've now gone back a little bit on it.
Oh no!
I am sitting on a solid 8, 9. 10
to
out
be
of
fair.
10, no.
No.
I mean,
right.
music
I
was
agree.
great. Animation was superb.
Yes.
Yeah.
The music was just brilliant. A lot of the characters or voice acting was on point. There were a couple of weak characters, like you said, you know, with like Seth
Yeah.
Rogen. And to be fair, I do enjoy a lot of his other movies. To be fair, but
mean,
it's
that's
just
the
very
thing.
typical Seth.
Yeah,
it's very
exactly.
typical Seth.
That's the
You know,
problem.
and
It
it's
wasn't.
basically what you got. Yeah.
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 Like the other movies he's in are funny. They're really funny.
They are. Yeah.
He is Seth Rogen, like in all of them.
He had already warned people about this. He said, if you want me to do a voice, don't. Like, if you're expecting a voice, don't, because I'm just not that kind of actor, which is fine. We now definitely know that you're just playing yourself every time you do the role. Then.
Exactly.
No,
I mean, like where Kylie touched on with like Jack Black, and you know, you guys touched on Jack Black when you're saying, you know, he really commits to his roles and stuff like that, and that is absolutely true.
Yeah.
In a lot of his roles, like you know, in Tropic Thunder or in Jumanji. You know, in Jumanji,
so
I think he
good.
played that role just fantastically, where he's like this teenage girl in this
I love
adult man's body, and he's like, oh god, it's
so good.
He does commit to his role. He's like, okay, do you know what? I'm going to do this. It doesn't matter what the role is. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to give it my all every single time.
I always love that with him.
You know what's funny? I was probably 14, maybe 13, 14. And this, I was watching a movie with my friend, and he was like, oh, I've got this movie, come check it out. And it was called, like, Black Panther or something like that. But it was Bruce Willis, and he was a spy, a double agent. It was actually a really good movie. God, I wish I could remember what it was called. But it's some kind of cat. But there's this point in the movie where he goes to this weapons expert. And the guy comes on, and I couldn't take my eyes off the screen. I was like, who is this?
Do you mean the Jackal?
The Jackal, that's it. I knew it was a cat movie. But, yeah, so...
Jackals are like dogs, aren't they?
Jackal.
It's a good movie. I mean, I was 14. It might not be a good movie. It might be terrible. But it was good for a 14-year-old who liked spies. But, yeah, I couldn't take my eyes. It was very young Jack Black. Like, probably his first... movie role.
Well, I remember seeing him in Enemy of the State in 1997 as well.
Then we so I guess that one was first, huh?
Very minor role.
Then we watched Enemy of the State, and I was like, "That's that guy. That's that guy. Is the weapons guy in Jackal." And he's like, "I guess." And I was like, "No, it is. It is." I just could not take my eyes off of him, and it's been that way ever since.
Enemy of the State also had Jason Lee in it as well.
Yes, it did. That's another good movie too. God, we had a lot of good spy movies.
We did have a few good spy movies, and I'll watch Enemy of the State like it's going out of fashion.
It's
I love
so
that
good.
movie.
And Hackers, we should watch Hackers. Hackers is good too.
Oh God.
I've
Anyway,
been
shall we
listening-
wrap this show up before we
Yes.
become a movie cast?
But I have been
Oh,
listening to the soundtrack of Hackers. I do encourage anyone who loves dance music, as I do, to listen to that 90s craziness.
Yes,
Especially
I probably would.
cowgirl.
But if you do want to stay on brand for this particular episode, the Mario movie soundtrack is currently up on streaming services where you can get your enjoyment from it, like I have.
Yep.
It's an hour and 40 minutes, and it's glorious. It's very, very good.
So it's about the
Good
same
stuff.
length as an episode of this show. This show, which you can find on various places. Pete. Actually, no.
Very
I'm
good.
supposed to ask our guest. I am hanging on, boys. I am hanging on. Mike, where can they find you out there? Oh.
Well, you can find me hiding somewhere in southern Spain in a tax haven. No, sorry.
Very good.
You can find me on Miketendo64 on Twitter, Facebook, we're on Tumblr as well. We also run the website Miketendo64.com, where we post all our news, reviews, interviews, giveaways, and so much more. We're also on YouTube as well. We post a lot of gameplay videos and also videos of events that we've been to. Jack is currently posting a load of videos from the Pokemon European Championships,
Very nice.
which he had the
Ooh.
privilege to go to this weekend.
Very good.
So we post a lot of stuff there, and we're always on Twitter is probably what we use most. So if ever you want to have a chat, or if there's any particular games that you're interested in, want to talk about them, we're there. So
Woo!
hit us up.
Woohoo! Haha! Pete, where can they find you?
So you can usually find me on Twitter at PeteBeckett1, spelled BECKETT and the number 1. You can also listen to me on this very show. I also run the Rapid Reviews Radio Twitter, although it's been neglected for a little bit, I'll be honest. So that's at our Radio Pod. Additionally, and I just wanted to take a few moments, obviously, because synergy with my podcast, The Never Watchers, we're talking about movies today, where we are recording a new episode next week of our brand new show, where we are not covering the Marvel Cinematic Universe until the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 comes out, so we need to do something in the meantime. So we're keeping that premise going with a film that I have never watched before, but Kurt has, called The Menu with Ralph Fiennes.
Oh, I've seen that. I was required to watch that.
That's another Anya Taylor-Joy film.
Yeah.
It is. It is indeed. So, yep, check on the Never Watchers for when that episode will go live. I will link it on Twitter as well. But for all other things, please visit rapidreviewsuk.com as well.
Yep. Okay.
Kylie?
Oh, it's my turn?
Yes. you tend to have to give your stuff out,
No, I'm gonna go to sleep now. But if you want to find me today, I'm sure I'm deleting everything I'm typing at the moment. Because I'm bored. Bored Kylie is dangerous Kylie. But
yes, not a great combination.
No. You can find me over at Kiley to Greet at KLEYTHTRUT. Or if you want to see CrossFit craziness and garden craziness, because I've been posting lots of bee visitors, you can head over to Instagram.
Nice.
I'm at Kylie Yellick. I love the bees. Save the bees. They are
Yes,
why we
please do.
eat food. But why we eat food.
Please.
Please save the bees. Oh gosh, and I don't have a filter on my mic. But anyway, I think that's gonna do it.
I don't have a filter. No, everything that comes to mind comes straight out. Sorry.
I forgot to put a filter on mic. I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, thank you so much to our watchers and our listeners. You can spend your time with anyone. The fact that you spend it with us always means the world to us. So we will see you and talk to you next week. Bye. No, we won't. No, we won't.
No. Next week there is no show.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Yeah, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
We'll see you and talk to you in 2 weeks. Bye.
Woohoo! Thank you for watching my movie.
Let's go.
That was the only way that we could finish.
Well,
It
that's what
was.
she said. That was the end of the.
Hey.
That was the end of the recorded part. I got to say that because that's not being recorded. So...
No, it wasn't.
Oh gosh! Oh my gosh! So we'll
Thank
stick
you, Rock and
around.
Socken, for sticking around through that nonsense.
We'll stick around probably 2 more minutes, but
Yes. Anyway, so what I teased on the old recording.
Oh, Jonathan.
I was telling Kylie about this earlier. There's a particular scene in the Super Mario Brothers movie from 1993 where Mario and Luigi have to go in a club to gain some information from someone.
Yes.
And it just so happens that he gets entangled with a very large lady by the name of Big Bertha.
Yes.
Who is, unfortunately, is a very large black woman. So
it's
it's
bad.
not the most ideal thing you should have in a kids movie from 1993.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, but the directors were nuts. The co-directors.
Oh yeah. Oh. Yes, they were.
They were literally doing shrooms or something. I don't know. But
I mean, apparently Bob Hoskins got almost killed multiple times.
Yes, because of John Leguizamo's drunk driving.
I love him.
Oh, that film is an utter hellhole. And also, funnily enough, it is on the Never Watchers list of films that Kurt's never seen. So
y'all should do that. That should be your next film after this one.
We put it to votes on Twitter, so it depends on what they vote on.
Well, they should vote on that.
I mean,
my god!
To be fair, I have seen that film a number of times during my childhood.
Yeah.
And I did enjoy it then.
Well, yes.
To be fair, did it stick to the source material? Hell no.
Yeah.
Right, and then they bring Daisy in like at the very end as well, saying, we're coming in with a great big gun, saying, we got to save the.
No, Daisy was in the movie throughout. She was. There was no Princess Peach actually, which was really weird.
And their Yoshi was like freaky.
It was an actual dinosaur.
An actual dinosaur. Yeah. I just don't.
God! Now I'm starting to remember that song. Now let's all do the dinosaur. Dun, dun, dun,
oh
dun,
no!
Everybody get on the floor.
The dinosaur.
Well, that's the song that they're dancing to in the club scene.
Yeah.
Dinosaur.
My favourite part of that movie, though, I must admit, my favourite part of that movie, it was bad. It was terrible. But when they get in the the Coopers dancing in the elevator.
Yes.
And then they start ballroom dancing with each other.
It makes no sense. They were high as kites.
No, literally, that scene does not actually make any sense. It's really stupid where he's rocking them from side to side.
Yeah. It was so weird, but it was always that Ninja Turtles and Indiana Jones 3 that just had to watch over. It's like any babysitter, that's what they put on.
It was the Goombas. Sorry, it was the swaying from side to side Goombas.
It was like, what is going on?
What was even happening? I remember I had to watch that for another podcast many years ago, and oh my Christ. I had to take notes throughout that movie as well, and that was the worst part of it, is having to stop and start that movie to take notes. It's I just wanted the film to be over.
And I hated it because Bob Hoskins was such a good, I adored Roger Rabbit as a kid, so Bob Hoskins was
and he was also in
Hook. Yes.
He was Shmee.
I loved Hook. Oh my gosh. Talk about where it wore a movie out. Frickin' heck. I really did.
He also did adverts for BT, if I remember correctly.
See, we didn't have that.
Always finish up with it's good to talk.
I did not know.
Yes, he did.
Much like Hugh Laurie, I did not know that Bob Hoskins was British until much later.
Fantastic. He Hugh Laurie'd you.
Yes, he Laurie. I did.
One of the
Jonathan, I did. Oh my gosh, I did. No lie. Who also ends up voicing the Fire Nation's prince, Azura, whatever his name is, in Avatar: The World thing, and I loved him there too. So Rufio.
Rufio.
Rufio. Oh, I need to go watch it. Oh, I
we're
love
losing
that
Pete
movie.
again. We're
Oh,
losing Pete again.
Pete, did
I'm
you
still
watch
here.
Hook? Did you watch Hook,
Oh,
Pete?
God.
Did I watch what? Sorry.
Hook. Did you watch Hook?
Not for a very long time.
Oh, loved that movie. And then when they do the imaginary food, oh, it's just like, I just want to live here. And it was all like,
Yeah, because you got like the older Peter Pan looking down at the table,
yes,
thinking,
it's,
"Okay,
where's the food?
what are we eating?" It's like, use your imagination.
No.
It's like, oh.
And then when all the food shows up and it's all multicolored and the music behind it swells, I was just like, oh, I want to go there. Oh, I love Hook. I do. I gotta watch that now. Ah, such a good movie.
Well, it's interesting then when you touched upon the Mario Bros film from 1993, right? Because there was something going around the news lately with John Luke. I'm going to say this wrong.
Leguizamo, yeah.
Leguizamo,
Yeah.
right? And he played Luigi in the original film.
Right.
He said he wasn't going to watch the new film because it didn't have enough proper representation of, Italian actors or, Latino characters or Latinx characters in the film. But then you think, but you starred alongside Bob Hoskins, who was British, in the Mario film. Now, I can understand where he's coming from a point of view, because, Hollywood has not been great when it comes to, representation or faithful representation of characters in films. And what? I'm more all for, bringing in more representation and people being able to actually represent, because that's one of the things you can't truly represent, like I know Hollywood does a lot of this whitewashing and all that, bringing in white characters. And unfortunately, we've had a lot of that over the years, and we've just sort of come accustomed to it.
Yeah.
Doesn't make it right.
No.
Doesn't make it right at all. So it does feel, right to be able to have, an African American being able to play an African American character, or a Nigerian character actor playing a Nigerian character, and also other races playing their own native characters, and then acting, because obviously acting, it's there's a whole spectrum to it. I mean, you are just playing a character. It's just your representation of that character.
Right.
But when you're doing plays and theatre and things like that, you have what you have. But when you've got a huge Hollywood multi-million blockbuster budget, you think you want to try and stay more faithful to give these characters the proper representation that they deserve.
Yep. And that has been a battle for decades. It's not a recent battle, which people seem to mistakenly think that it is.
No, it's been going on for years.
Yeah, because even in, like, I am a huge fan of Shakespeare, and except my brain's not working right now. Not Orlando. What is there's a Shakespeare play. It starts with an O, but I don't.
I want to say
Othello. That's it. Othello. And then the lead actor is he's of African descent. That's the whole thing. And then when they made a movie of it, which I think was late 80s, early 90s, Denzel Washington played Othello, or played in Othello. The whole place went nuts, like, oh, why are you casting a black actor in Shakespeare? And it's just like, that's the character, as his origin. So that shows you, it's been going on for decades, and I'm very happy to see things progressing. I know that's an evil word to some people, but I'm glad to see it progressing. But I also would like to see new characters developed as well, that are diverse. Let's create some new characters. You know what? Hollywood, just write something original. I'm so tired of rehashing everything.
And there's only so many times you can bring back or remake or rehash the same story over and over again with the same characters, and you think, okay, we'll just give it a different representation this time. Is it? Well, no. How about creating an original story about these characters? It's not like these stories don't exist. I mean, there is a lot of Chilean folklore, for example, that they could work on, and mythology, or Mayan mythology, or Indian mythology, or Indian history. Not just mythology, but the history. Every region, every country, every place has its own stories to tell.
Yes.
Give them their opportunity to tell these stories.
Yeah, and bring them to new audiences,
Exactly.
I'm a pasty white chick. I want to know more stories. I like history. Give me more. But, Pete, do you want to read chat? Because it's popping off. Oh,
Yes, let me have a little look.
And then I might have to close her up. Oh.
Yes, we'll close up the show. So, yeah, Rock and Tucker Holt said thanks for the show. Good. We're glad you liked it. So, Jonathan has put, I ended one time with a wahoo. Leah didn't appreciate that.
Jonathan.
Filth. he then made the correction. It was when the Goombas dancing, not the Koopas. Correct. He then put my notes. I guess this is about Super Mario Brothers movie from '93. The poop emoji.
The poop emoji, oh yeah.
The problem
Mind you,
was
to
I
be
had
fair,
to.
when it comes to the Goombas or Koopas, well, they were Goombas, but there was some that had round heads, and then there was some that had like elongated noses. But it kind of was the Goombas and the Koopas, though they were actually called Goombas in the film. I do believe that is correct. Yes. But then apparently you're not allowed to say Goomba, or that was one of the things that came up when Chris Pratt was talking in the interview when they did the first like Super Mario film direct, and he said he spent all his time stomping Koopas instead of saying Goombas, because apparently it's a derogatory term or mafia or something.
It is.
Yeah.
It is for Italians. It is. Yes.
Okay.
So, Kylie, when you go to Italy, don't say you want to stomp some Goombas.
Oh no! Oh no! What if it pops out? I'm ordering pizza.
Yeah, not a great thing. Jonathan then put Kylie had the hots for Rufio, I bet. You've already discussed that in details. Rock'em Sock'em Holt excused the profanity, but this is what Hoskins said. The worst thing I ever did, Super Mario Brothers. It was an effing nightmare. The whole experience was a nightmare. Yeah, I remember that quote. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
I also remember the quote from... Oh, God, why am I blanking on his name? Dennis Hopper. Dennis Hopper.
Gosh, yeah.
Dennis Hopper was explaining why he did this movie. He said, well, I think he was explaining to his 6-year-old or to his kid at the time. He was like, oh, I've taken this role on. It was like, of Bowser in Super Mario Brothers. And then he, I think the kid watches the movie and he asks him obviously what he thought. And he said, why did you do this movie?
Yeah.
And he said, because, son, you needed shoes. And then the kid then responded and said, Dad, I didn't need shoes that bad.
And is that hold on, because the father is James Caan, isn't it? And his son, I'm blanking on it now, but he's the one that's in Hawaii 5.0, I think.
5.0, I think, yeah.
But yeah,
Dennis Hopper was the one who obviously played Bowser.
I'm thinking James Caan. Sorry, I'm thinking.
But
my
Dennis
brain
Hopper
is going.
does have.
They do look very similar, though. I think
they're from that same.
Apocalypse Now.
Yeah, that's like they're from that same '70s era of like really amazing talent.
Yeah. So then, final 2 points is John Leguizamo only got, and this is from Jonathan. John Leguizamo only got the part because his last name was closest to Luigi.
Yeah, Luigi-amo.
That's a spicy comment. That's a spicy meat of all.
I tell you what. Here's a hot take, right? Apparently, John Leguizamo does not want to see the Super Mario Bros. Film, though apparently the Italian dub for that film, the Italian dub for Luigi.
Oh,
brilliant.
So Luigi played Luigi in the Italian dub for both films. So
goodness.
And then he finishes up. So then he finishes up by saying, "Might start The Last of Us Part 1 on PS5 today. Wish me luck. Never played it. Looking forward to it. And a friend let me borrow it. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you. We will enjoy the Depression Simulator Part 1."
That's true. It's exactly what I've warned y'all since the beginning of these podcasts.
Also, good thing you aren't playing on PC because it would be horrifying.
Oh my gosh! Have you seen that?
Yes, I have. It looks like Joel has caterpillar eyebrows. It's really funny.
Oh goodness! But I think we're gonna wrap it up because I need more meds and I'm gonna crash.
No worries. I need to have dinner and go to bed. I got work first thing in the morning.
Yeah, me too.
An hour ahead of us. So we thank our audience for sticking around. You guys are great.
Thank you very much, guys
And thank you so much.
and girls and everyone.
Well, thanks so much to Miketendo for joining us again on short
A
notice.
pleasure as
too.
always, guys.
It's always
Thank
fun
you.
having you around. Always a good time.
It is Miketendo.64.com, right?
Miketendo64.com.
Cool. Just doing description. So yes.
No spaces, just
Lovely. Thank you very much.
No worries.
Yeah. So that's gonna do it. And we'll see you in a couple weeks. Bye.
Yes, because Kiley is going away. So enjoy.
Fading.
We'll see you again soon.
Bye.
Okay, bye.